President Trump's trade war is rocking markets here in the United States and around the world.
The market could easily go down by 50%.
We'll probably go down to new lows.
You know, no one's wishing for that, but hopefully if there is one, it'll be short.
They used to say that retail investors couldn't beat the market, that only the professionals had the edge. But I'm living proof of their failure. I've been investing for over 30 years, profited through every crash, every rally, and every fake out.
I spent 5 years trading in a proprietary trading desk, made over $1.2 million in trading profits.
I managed to make over 112% returns in just one simple trade.
I focused on price, action, fundamentals, and probability. You're ready to listen to the one person Wall Street underestimates every single time. That's you. Thousands of my students are able to beat the markets through every crash in the last 6 years. They are not guessing. They are not following the hype train. And definitely not listening to the hedge funds up in their ivory towers. You don't need permission or perfect timing. You simply need a repeatable set of systems and to be greedy when others are fearful. So join the movement and take back control of your capital. This shift is already happening. It's your move now.
All right, hi everyone. Okay, let me just share my slides over here. Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to the Retail Rebellion. Okay, so I believe you guys have enjoyed Adam's session just now on when he shared about investments. So moving on to my session, I'll be covering more on trading, right? The US market, China, Hong Kong market, and even the crypto markets, how retail traders or even investors can outsmart the big boys, okay, using all these instruments and products. Okay, so in the meantime, I know some of you are still joining in, so make sure you can see my screen and you guys can hear me clearly. Adjust the volume at your side, whether you're watching through your iPhone, your iPad, or even your laptop. Okay? In the meantime, I'm going to show you a teaser. My cat is also watching. Just to show everyone, okay? I don't think you guys can see clearly. Yeah. So I have this pet cat over here. And he's also doing the webinar later. While you guys are preparing yourself. Sorry, it's a bit shy, so I have to let it go. Okay, go back. Guess the breed is actually it's not like those special breed. It's a stray kind of breed, I think. It's called calico. Can see right over here. The calico. Okay, ready? Are you ready to start the webinar? Okay. Okay, come. Okay, now we'll move on to the more serious part. Okay. Yes, Jane, it's a female. So I'm looking to find a male for her. Yes, guys, I've eaten my lunch. I hope you guys have your lunch already. Okay. Now it's 1:45 p.m. Singapore time. Hope everyone have grabbed something to eat. If not, please grab a bite and have a coffee. Okay. So I think to this year's the mid-year theme, right, on Retail Rebellion is really to empower you guys to rise up and also understand that even as a retailer, you can have the same age or even better age than the institutions. Okay, I came from the institution side and I can see how they trade the markets. And of course, we cannot fight them, but we can definitely understand what they do and follow them. Okay, it's just like going to a casino and we understand how the dealer play the game, and then we want to follow the dealer because the dealer always have the edge. And that's what I personally do when I was a prop trader as well. And I believe that based on what my team has told me, about 10-20% of you are considered experienced traders. Okay, and I believe you are here because you're probably traded for more than 2 years, 3 years, and you are profitable. But you're here because you want to increase your trading edge or make your processes more simpler and to understand what happened on the manipulation side. So you can include probably the market manipulation strategies to your existing one and to increase your win rate. Okay, and my team has told me about 80-90% of you are considered beginner or new traders. So I'll say that beginners, probably you have been trading for probably less than 1 or 2 years. Maybe you are struggling or making a very little money, and you find that it's not worth your time. And you're probably here because you want to change your game, right? See what you need to tweak and to learn a new strategy to improve your edge as well. And I always tell people that if I started learning about market manipulation at the very start of my trading career, it would have saved me a lot of unnecessary mistakes being made to the market makers, to the big boys. A lot of money being lost to the market, right? When I don't understand about market manipulation. So if you are a very new trader, you learn about market manipulation, right? This will help you have a very strong edge at the very start. Okay. So let's begin, guys, right? I just want to share that earlier this year, I also did a market outlook event in Singapore, Marina Bay Sands, where I share my market outlook. So we have a very huge crowd, and that's where I share my experience in proprietary trading and also about market manipulation and what I see the market moving, how it's going to turn out in the year 2025. And so far, what I've mentioned has panned out well this year, just that the tariff, I didn't expect the sell down to be 20%. I thought there will be a retracement, but I didn't expect the market to do a sharp retracement of 20%. But it's actually a blessing in disguise because it gives me a lot of opportunity to buy into very good stocks and even crypto when there was a major sell down, which I'm going to share with you guys more later on as well. Okay, so read through this disclaimer, guys. Okay, watch this disclaimer. I'm going to give you guys about 1-2 minutes to go through this disclaimer. Okay, I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm just going to share with you guys what is my trading methodology and what you can learn from it. Okay. So watch this, read through this, okay, screenshot and then read it properly. Okay. All right, guys, let's go. Let's begin. So this is going to be my agenda for my webinar. Okay. So a lot of people has been asking me what is my market outlook. Okay, from now, which is mid of 2025 to the end of the year, or even beyond, right? First half of next year. Okay. for me, I always tell people that I cannot see beyond 1 year, 2 years because I'm not really an investor, right? When I trade, I usually have a time horizon of like maximum 1 year. To me, 1 year is really very long already, right? So as a trader, even when I do swing trade, my feedback period I go for is usually 6 months to 1 year maximum. But usually most of my trades will be done less than half a year, even when I do swing trading. So I'm going to share with you guys my market outlook in the short term to medium term later on. And then ways you can take advantage and profit from the market manipulation. Okay, specifically, I'm going to share with you guys this very generic, simple strategy in market manipulation called bull traps and bear traps. And I'm going to share with you guys with a lot of examples, right, of market manipulation in the US market, in the Hong Kong, China market, and even the crypto markets. Okay, we cannot miss out the crypto market, right? Because crypto market, as you all know, that it's a market that started by the retailers, right? And actually, it's a market that really resembles how retailers rise up against the institution. As you all know, in the last 1 year, 2 years, the Wall Street started to get into crypto, right? Because they see the retailers making a lot of money from 2010 all the way until 10 years, 2020 and so on, right? So it's actually a market that I think the retailers still have a chance. Of course, not as cowboy as last time. Okay, not as cowboy as cowboy as last time. But there's still a lot of pockets of opportunity still exist, right? When you know how to identify the market manipulation. And of course, I think most people are looking forward to my 2025 watch list, okay, for crypto. So I updated this very fresh from the oven yesterday night. I just updated this yesterday night because of today's webinar as well. So I'm going to share with you guys for free later on. So don't miss this. And also my mentor model for multi-bagger stocks and crypto. So there's always a game strategy, right? Like in the art of war, right? It's also like planning how you're going to attack first before you attack. So this is how I plan my mentor model when I trade crypto or even stocks, growth stocks that have potential to multi-bag. I have a certain mentor model. So I'm going to share with you guys this later on. And also 3 live stock opportunities to look out for right now. Okay, these are some opportunities that I personally have. Some of them I have positions in, some of them I'm looking to enter. In fact, after that, I'll also be sharing with you guys my thoughts on Tesla as well. Okay, this is like the go-to stock for AI, right? So I won't miss it out. I try to cover all angles, right, as much as possible. So during the Q&A session, I'll be covering on Tesla. So don't miss out the Q&A session later on. We'll go through your questions. Okay. So I think there is a Q&A tab, okay, for you guys to ask your questions. So if you have any questions, you can always ask inside the chat, the Q&A tab. Okay. I think my team of coaches and my team at Priyana Profits will be here to assist me in answering, because I've more than 4,000 of you right now in the webinar, right? Each of you ask one question, I cannot finish really, right? So I'll be filtering out the most relevant questions along the way, and then we'll be answering them. Okay. My advice is to take a piece of paper and a pen and take notes along the way, guys, so you can make the best use of today's webinar. And because I think this is the first time I'm meeting some of you, right? Let me do a short introduction of where I came from, so you understand why is it that I'm very focused on market manipulation. I started my career as a proprietary trader. So I was there for a very good 5 years of my youth, I would say, right? I spent my 5 good youth years in the prop desk. And actually, I studied business IT. I'm not supposed to be a trader. I'm supposed to go into the bank and work in the corporate finance, IT, and so on, right? In fact, I was being offered management associate role in the one of the top US banks. But I decided that trading is something more interesting. So I think that was something that I decided at a very young age that I want to learn more about trading, because I felt that no matter how many books I read, no matter how many courses I attend, I will never ever learn the real skills of trading unless I join someone or I learn from someone who is from the proprietary trading desk, because these people make a living, right? They make a living, so they must have a way to make a living, right? If not, they will not be able to pay their bills and won't sustain, right? So I wanted to know. I was very interested to know what's happening behind the scenes, right? And a lot of people ask me like, what is it the pay? I can tell you at the start, the pay is like this. Guess what's my basic pay? I have 0 basic pay. Then you all may be asking me, then how, right? There is this thing called the 50-50 profit sharing element. So for every $1 net profit that I make, after commission, minus away commission and trading desk fees, I will take half home. Net profits, we call it, that will be my net profit. In fact, that was my interview question, to choose between package A or package B. Package B, I was offered a basic pay of 3K and then 20% profit sharing. How many of you will choose A or B? There's nothing wrong choosing A or B, or even B, right? Most people may choose B, right? But the thing is that I don't know why, maybe because I was young and ambitious last time, like many youth, right? So I actually go for A, because I thought that if I'm making $10,000 in a month, which I should be making as a prop desk trader, I mean, if I don't make 10K in a month as a prop desk trader, I may as well go and work in the bank, right? That was my thinking, right? Because the bank also pay me very well as a fresh grad. So I naturally choose A, right? Because I thought that A, the sky is the limit, and I no need I very low maintenance one, right? I eat chicken rice every day, right? Some of my students know that I like to eat chicken rice. So and a coffee, right? And that's it. I'm very happy already for the rest of the day, right? And I can live a very low maintenance lifestyle. Okay, I can tolerate one. I can delay gratification for very long one. That's my discipline. Right. And also there's nothing wrong going for B. It's just that later on when I joined the desk, me and my colleagues who joined, the 5 of us who joined, we asked each other, right, which one do you choose during the interview? All of us choose A. Then we asked the senior traders, what happened to those who choose B? Those who choose B not selected. You know why? Because the prop firm will think that, have a view that traders who go for B, usually they believe they want a safety net, right? And they may not put in their very best. Because let's say a trader is making very little money or losing some money, he may want to play safe and wait for the month to pass and the month to pass and the month to pass just to take back the basic pay. Agree? However, if a trader knows that there's no basic pay and he will make what he has made in trading, there's no way out. I can tell you this trader will do whatever it takes to make money in trading. You don't even need to look over his shoulders. It's like a commission job. He will do whatever it takes, right, to make money in trading. Whatever, you don't need to tell him to go and study. He will go and study. We want that kind of commitment, right? Of course, the sky is the limit and it's fair, right? Because if you make money, the company will take half. That was how I started, right? That was how I started. And I have more than 13 years. Since then, I have more than 13 years of professional trading experience. Still love trading today, still love teaching and trading, and I'm very happy to work alongside with Adam and also Bang in Piranha Profits, sharing my trading experience. And during my time in the prop desk, I achieved the top trader award, in fact, twice in a row. That was how I made my first pot of gold. As a teenager, right, I made about $1.2 million of net profit after commission and costs during my time in the prop desk. Of course, after I left the desk, I made many times what I made when I was in the prop desk. But I always say that my first 5 years in the prop desk is the most consequential. It's the most important. That was how I learned the ropes, how I trained my psychology, been through a lot of ups and downs to hone my mental. Right? I can tell you there are times when you are down, you cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know that kind of feeling when there's no light at the end of the tunnel, but yet you need to struggle. You need to find a way out. That was my experience when I was in the prop desk. I find my way out. I keep pushing forward, and to find a way to churn out profits in the markets and hone and build my own strategies. That's why till today, I still use my own strategy. I don't use other people's strategy. Okay. I traded full-time, tried and tested in and out every single trading day when I was in the prop desk. It's not for fun. It's a very serious profession. I always tell people it's not play on. Whatever we are doing is very serious profession because it's dealing with money, right? Dealing with people's savings is a very serious profession. So I professionally traded short-term and swing trading in futures, forex, US stocks, and even crypto, right? As of 2016, I started trading crypto because I find that it's a very cowboy market. And I can tell you as a trader, as a prop desk trader, as a day trader or even a swing trader, right? We love cowboy market, speculative market, because we are trading something that the value does not need to hold for the next 5 years. As long as there's hype, there's narrative, the idea is to get in and get out. And crypto is a very good instrument to do that. Of course, I still trade a lot of stocks, scalp forex and futures. I started my career as a scalper. And I always say that I think I'm quite a good scalper when I was in the prop desk. I scalped my way to more than $1 million. Then moving on, when I left the desk, I do more of swing trading because of lifestyle. But when I do swing trading, US stocks, crypto, forex, futures, I make many times more what I made when I was in the prop desk. Every style has a way to overcome, have a way to trade. I teach both styles in the price action manipulation course. The strategy can be applied to multi-asset classes, right? Like what I just mentioned here. And in fact, for stocks, I also trade Hong Kong stocks, China stocks, Singapore stocks, KL stocks, any country also applicable. Okay. So I have the experience. During my time in the prop desk, I met a lot of exchange sales directors. In fact, I have a lot of friends who are sales directors in the brokerages in Singapore. I know some of their bosses, prop desk bosses, prop desk traders, right? And I started my career trading all these asset class, right? In SGX, CME Group, Nasdaq, ICE futures, and many more. That was how I started my career. As of 2016, I left the desk, right? And I became an independent trader, trading myself at home. During a time, I thought that after 5 years, it's time for me to find a new challenge, right? Because I thought that I could stay in the prop desk for 10, 20, 30 years, but I want to be able to come out and do myself, right? Because I don't have to pay the 50% anymore, right? So whatever I make, $1 means $1. I will just keep. And to me, it's like a double pay increment. And also to find something that I like to do elsewhere as well. So it was also during a time that I met up with Adam, right? And I'm one of Adam's, I would consider myself a very fanatic student as well of Adam. I as a teenager, Adam came to my school to do a 30 minutes assembly talk. I was from Nanyang Junior College. I don't know whether he still remember. Nanyang Junior College now is very nice. Last time when it was renovating the time, there was a lot of containers, right? And he came to the junior college and he gave a 30 minutes talk. And that 30 minutes, right, is like a dating session, speed dating. 30 minutes. I like this guy. I love this guy already, right? And I'm very inspired by what he talked about financial education, right? And I went to read his book and I realized that to succeed, you don't need to be academically inclined, which is what I like, because I'm not academically inclined, right? I'm just average. But Adam showed me another path where you can actually be successful in trading, investing in businesses, and so on. So I started following him. I have all of Adam's book. Attended many of his courses. In fact, one of his company's trading courses as well, right? And that was when I shared with Adam also that I was trading in the prop desk, right? And Adam is someone that he asked me straight away, what is my track record, right? I think he wants to know that whether I'm legitimate or not, right? So during the time, I told Adam that my win rate when I was in the prop desk is 95%. On a quarterly basis. So when I was in the prop desk, I collect my paycheck once every quarter. So 1 year got 4 quarters, guys. So I was in the prop desk for 5 years. So total 20 quarters. In my 20 quarters in the prop desk, I only got one down quarter. I have a 95% win rate. Every quarter I make money one. To me, to my company, I'm like a golden goose. Market up or down, crisis, no problem. My account green color at the end of 3 months. Of course, not every day, every month or every week, right? But quarterly basis, 95% chance. I'm like a golden goose for my boss one, right? That was how I started my career, about consistency. And then Adam asked me, like, how do you do it? How do you do it? Like in the prop desk, I thought the market got Eurozone crisis, market crash, and then there's so many uncertainty. How you all look at the market, right? I told Adam that the way we trade in the prop desk is very different from the retailers. We look out for market manipulation signs, right? And I personally specialize in trading alongside these big boys. Look out for how they print the candlestick bars. We call it candlestick printing, how they bluff traders to buy and do FOMO buying, and how they squeeze the retailers, go and hunt their stop loss, squeeze them out, force them to liquidation, and then move up the price, and so on. That was when Adam told me that you really need to come and share with me more about this idea, right, and this strategy. So I started the first class back in 2016. And after the first class, I was being invited again by Adam. And Adam, I remember he told me that he shared the same passion with me as well in teaching. And I love teaching as well, right? And Adam told me that if you don't teach what you know, right, the retailers have no chance. He's frankly told me that the retailers have no chance. If they do not know about all these market manipulation strategies, they have no chance. And he actually encouraged me to step up and also join him, right, in this education journey. So I'm very honored that I've been with Adam for more than almost 9 years, coming 10 years. Time flies, right? So this is my portfolio performance in the last 1 year. I think the S&P only did about 15-16%. So even though there was a tariff sell down recently, but there was a very major recovery from my portfolio. In fact, my target for my portfolio is to hit at least 70% this year. At least 70%. I think it's achievable. Okay, so we'll see. Okay, so doing well, I think the year to date and even the last 1 year performance. In fact, the last few days has been very, very good for my entire trading portfolio. I don't invest in anything, by the way. I don't invest in anything. My portfolio purely based for trading purposes. Okay. So this is some photos I have. I want to share with you guys, right, in the prop desk. So in the prop desk, as the saying goes, the number of screens you have is equal to your seniority and your profitability. So this is when I got 5 screen. I started with 3 screen. Okay, this is my name over here, right? And you can see every time I trade, right, I have all this. I always print out the charts on. I always print out the charts. In fact, at the end of, let's say 1 year, I got like what very thick. I have many stacks of these charts. I waste a lot of paper. I cut down a lot of trees, right, for learning all these trading strategies, right? But it's my passion. I go toilet, also take the charts with me on. Okay. So that was when I was making some money for the company, and then my boss actually gave me more screens. Guess at my peak how many screens I have. At my peak, I got 9 screens. In fact, I think 10 because there is, if I consider the CNBC screen over here, I actually have a CNBC screen on my corner left side. So if I include that one, that will be 10. To me, it's like my command center when I go to office, right? You can see how many mouse I have. I got 1 mouse, 2 mouse, 3 mouse. I got 2 hands, but I got 3 mouse on. But I can tell you this is for entertainment purposes. Most of the time when I was in the prop desk, I'm actually watching YouTube. During the time, I was watching a lot of Shark Tank. Because when you know what you're doing, right, just like when you master trading, you don't really need to stare at the screen too much. Yes, you do. You need to be around if you're doing scalping, but if you know your levels properly, once it's triggered, then you take action and you focus on trading. And to me, trading is like a leisure. I don't feel that I'm working, right? To me, it's like every day going to the river and fishing, right? And it's something that I love to do, right? Having my coffee, watching the chart, right? I have a sense of fulfillment when I find something and then it 3-4x. That's my hobby now, right? I like to find something that under radar, and then the thing later 2, 3, 4x. In fact, I did something like this recently. Later I can show you guys. It's in my slides. Okay. Right, and also achieve the top trader award twice in a row. I am not a trophy person. I don't care about trophy one. But during the time, my former boss wanted to give something tangible. So because he always tell us that we always see numbers only, we don't touch anything. So he wanted to give something that can touch one, tangible, right? Which I still keep it today, for memory's sake. This me many years ago when I was in the prop desk. I hope I still look the same. Now is definitely more mature, older already, right? All right, so let's move on to the charts. I know some of you are waiting for my analysis on the charts. So this is the S&P 500. I know the question that a lot of people are asking is the market going to crash or is it going to go higher? Okay, based on what has happened right now is that you need to understand what happened during the tariff. During the tariff, right, the market maker did a very potent market accumulation pattern. We call this the bear trap pattern. I will share more about what's the bull trap, bear trap later on. But basically, this sell down was about 20%. This sell down was about 20%. And it was meant as an excuse by the market maker to shake out those traders who place their stop losses at the bottom here. You see, if you are long, right, your stop loss is going to be a sell order. If you are those traders who are long over here, right, all those traders who buy, right, I can tell you the stop loss, right, maximum they'll put where? I can tell you some will be somewhere around here. That's the reason why the market maker purposely trade all the way down here using the tariff news to manipulate the charts, to take out the stop losses of the retailers and to cause panic. And when I saw this, right, actually this is one of our very potent manipulation signals. Some of my students know this, the DR pattern, right? Some of my students know this. And I went very heavy at the bottom. Right? It's a very clear signal. And this is something that I teach, right? So I was telling myself that I must preach what I do, right? I teach my students. And I actually, again, take action. Even though there was a lot of there was still a lot of very negative news in the media. And that's a lesson that I want to share with you guys is that, as what Jesse Vollmer mentioned, the stock market is never obvious. If it's obvious, it's designed to fool most people most of the time. So when we trade the markets, we must be neutral to the news, right? Yes, you can go and learn about what's happening, all this, the news, the tariff, the war, all this, but when you trade the markets, focus on the price action because the price action will tell you the positioning of the market maker, the big boys. Okay, and trading, you will never know why the market maker buy until it's too late one. You know, I learned this when I was in the prop desk is that the market maker's position, right, is like a black box. Okay, oops. It's like a black box. We call it the black box. Okay. When the market makers or the big boys buy the stock, okay, there can only be one reason why they buy. They believe that the stock price will go up or they want it to go up. That's it. What's the reason you will go? What is the reason they buy? We don't need to know. Because sometimes by the time it's known or by the time it makes sense to everybody, it's too late. Like now, I would say it's actually a bit too late. You need to wait for retracement now, right? Because I don't encourage people to buy when things is one line up anyway, right? Wait for retracement. There will be retracement along the way. Then consider getting in again. Because market maker usually do what we call reaccumulation. They will do temporary squeeze. Then you buy in. Okay? So don't need to worry about what's the news, why is it going up, all this thing, right? Focus on the price action. This is the same for COVID. I made millions of dollars during COVID because during the sell down, I saw that the market maker again is doing manipulation. So even though I don't think that the COVID is going to resolve soon, but I saw that the market makers was buying heavily. So what do? Focus on following the market maker. He knows something, right? We don't need to know what he knows. As long as he buy means he knows something. And I can tell you throughout my career, this has always been true. by the time you know what's happening, right? What is the real reason why the stock price should go up? It's too late. Or sometimes by the time the news come out, positive news come out, the thing tank. Have you experienced that before? Okay, it doesn't mean that bad news you buy or good news you sell, right? You still need to look at the price action, and that's the reason why I'm talking about purely on price action today, right? And this is actually my game plan for 2025. Earlier this year, I didn't change this, right? This was mentioned to my students at the start of this year. We maintain bullish bias in the US market. Stay cautious for the first half of the year. Because earlier this year, I saw a very minor sign of bull trap pattern, but it turned out to be a precursor to the sell down. And then there was a bear trap pattern seen at key swing low levels. And when we have this bear trap pattern over here, right, that was when I knew this is going to be a multi-year low. It's likely to be a multi-year low, right? Because of this major bear trap pattern that forms. And my style of trading, right? I would say my students know that I love to go for stocks and even crypto that has the potential to do multi-bags, right? And for high returns, and also stocks for normal technical setups, because it's like a fisherman. When you go and catch a fish, right? You throw the net. Sometimes you want to catch red grouper, but there's other fish like pondford fish also can eat one, right? You don't go and throw away, right? Because this one you can also sustain you, right? So I do the combination of both. So I go for growth stocks. I go for stocks that there's a setup I can still make. I use 1 to 2% to make 2 to 4%, right? Around 1:2 risk reward, for example, right? So I do a combination of both. But I love to look out for stocks and even crypto that can multi-bag. Because that was how I started to build my wealth when I was a younger trader last time. That was how I built my wealth as well. I keep on going for multi-bagger positions. I make mistakes sometimes, but my winners will outperform the losers, right? Okay. So stay persistent in trading, maintain the right trading psychology to embrace drawdowns and maximize winning streaks. In trading, you must stay persistent. I can tell you guys that the reason why traders lose money, sometimes it's not about the strategy. More often it's the strategy, but I would say it's also about persistency. Your belief in your strategy. People lose money because in the sell down, they lose money, but they didn't catch the up wave. If I give you an example, let's say sell down, yes, you lose money. I also lose some money when the market draw down, because overnight, Donald Trump announced tariff. Who knows, right? Monday gap down, where can you cut? You have to cut first. I buy back in heavy at the bottom. But if you cut and you didn't buy back in at the bottom, you will miss this rally. That's why persistency is very important. Persistency means that win or lose, you must continue. Then I always say that the wind will flow in your favor eventually. And then when you're winning, keep winning until you lose. When you're winning, cannot stop. You must continue. This is something I learned from my former boss. He always say this. When you're winning in trading, last time when we say, oh, we have a good day, or we trade until like we make $10,000, $20,000 by 6 p.m. Then let's go and have fun. Then you know what he'll tell us? When you're winning, you should continue. You should continue and press on until you cannot make anymore. Then you stop for the day. You cannot just stop. That was a philosophy I always tell myself. Okay, but of course, when you have a drawdown, you need to be careful. Okay, and then we have ways and things that I teach my students how to manage drawdowns and so on, so that you always ride winning streaks and minimize drawdowns. Okay, and also I personally use the price action manipulation strategies to identify signs of market manipulation. That's my signature strategy I've been using all these years in the markets. Okay, this is very important, right? I use the PAM strategies to identify all these signs of market manipulation. So now I don't see that the market makers is unloading a position. These are all fake selling, fake one. Okay, I think there's going to be another push up, but eventually I think there's going to be a retracement. There'll be some kind of retracement before the market push up higher. Okay, there's going to be shallow retracement along the way. because like I shared during the web the I think the introductory the marketing webinar that you guys saw, right, to join, is that it's impossible for the market to recover 30% and then 30%, 30% and 30% like that. Like that, the S&P become crypto already, become like a crypto already, right? So there's going to be some form of retracement, and then to drag out the time and so on. But during this period, as it goes sideways, as it goes down, doesn't mean it'll crash. It's time for new traders like you guys to get in, right, and to ride the next wave up. We are still in a bull market at the moment now. And the reason why we are learning all this is because it's a very serious strategy. It's very important and it's very serious for someone managing a bigger portfolio. Let me share with you guys this, how I use this to cash out about $2.3 million back in May 2021. This is 2021, guys, May 2021. Where 11 of May 2021 is timestamp. So we have a community chat with all my students, right? Adam, Bang, myself is inside, right? I'll be one, of course, with my coaches to answer a lot of questions there. This is when I share my students that I'm going to cash out 20-30% of my position. In fact, I cash out already, but they still can get the same price or even better price than me. Because I know a lot of my students know me as a crypto guy as well. So even though I'm a trader, I don't just trade stocks, right? Because like I said, a lot of prop traders, right, love crypto one because it's a cowboy market, right? So I'm also got the speculative fever, right, last time, and then I started to trade crypto, invest in crypto. And a lot of my students know that I'm also watching crypto very closely, and I know that they all follow me as well. So during that time, I don't want my students to lose money. So I told them that if I see the market going to crash, I will let my students know. If I see a major bottom forming or something interesting in a chart, I do inform in the chat as well that you guys will be joining when you enroll into the price action manipulation course. So I told my students that I'm going to cash out 20-30% of my position. Right, I cash out 20-30% of my position, which is $2.3 million. Right, because I see at least 2 outstanding flush up bars for Ethereum and so on. Right, and after I let go, right, the market actually dropped 50%. A lot of my students managed to cash out before the thing crashed. And in my community, I would say that I have a lot of big whales inside one. In fact, in Piranha Profits, I think we have the largest trading community in Singapore, and I believe in the Southeast Asia region. Okay, and then a lot of big brains in crypto, in stocks, investments. They are prop desk traders. They all follow. They all follow us, right, in the community chat. Right. In fact, I know a lot of the big whales. Some of my students are big whales. OTC, Bitcoin trader. They follow my insights very closely because they know that I've been in a cycle since 2016. And so far, touch wood, I managed to catch most of the top before the thing retraced. So this helps them to save a lot of money. Imagine you are managing few $1 million of portfolio and you manage to protect your portfolio by half when it sell down. At the bottom here, I buy back some position, or as it recovers, this is where I let go. This is where I let go almost entire 90% of my position. In total, I made more than $10 million in crypto in the last cycle. And I always say that my target for every cycle is at least $5 million. So far this cycle, I clocked about 2 million plus. I still got three more million to hit my minimum target, which I think achievable, given how Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and many cryptos are doing. It's possible. So I give a call to sell this over here. This is actually a bull trap pattern. A bull trap pattern is bearish, right? And then here is also a bull trap pattern. So I told my students to let go here, here, here. I think we are the only community in Singapore that does this, right? And after that, what happened is the Luna crisis, right? And then bring down FTX and so on. But most of us, my community, I think we managed to get out above 50K. And after that, of course, right? That was I think one of my greatest exit. And after that, I went to buy a lot of properties after that, right? I think Adam mentioned just now, right? I went to buy a lot of shop houses in Singapore, which also doubled actually after a few years. So that was actually a very good move using crypto. And it's going to be done again this cycle. I can tell you the history will repeat itself. The same pattern will repeat itself. So what happened this round during this current cycle is this. This was in May. Sorry, this was in March. This is the 13th of March 2024, sorry. 2024, which is feels like yesterday, right? I still have a 7-figure portfolio. I told my students, so it's very transparent. I told my students this, right? I cash out about 50%, right? I cash out by 50%, more than $1 million, right? Because it's a part of my routine de-risking process on major flush up to LP levels. You're going to learn how to do this. This is what we call signs of pop. Looking out for bootstrap pattern, looking out for flush up bars, right? You need to have technical sense, right, to do well, and I can tell you in crypto. Because if not, you may miss out on taking profits. You may take profits too early and then the thing move and so on, right? So there will be guidelines to teach you guys how to maximize your entry exit using the price action manipulation strategy. So after 30th of March, a lot of my students during a time managed to get out very good profits, right, before the market retraced. On hindsight, $70,000 is low, right? Because now Bitcoin is 120K. But during that time, right, this sell down, guys, they were 30th of March was when I gave the call to sell. Again, I managed to pick the top again. Then over here, when the market came down, I can tell you Bitcoin actually dropped about 35% from the high to the low. But it's not about Bitcoin that is the killer. If you're continuing to hold Bitcoin, of course, there's no issue. But the killer is what? The odds. A lot of odds actually dropped 70%, 80%, 90%. In fact, some never come back. I always tell people this, that odds can make a lot of money, but you need to be able to know how to sell, exit. A lot of the odds that I know last cycle, they are no longer here in this cycle. Like in 2016, right? In 2016, right? I consider myself OG, original gang, OG. In 2016, I traded like crypto like Give2, Constant, Policy, PAL. Today, they are no longer around. A lot of them are no longer around. So a lot of the odds today, 3 to 5 years later, may not be around. And then if they pump, you need to have an idea, strategy, a good strategy to get out. Okay, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and some good odds will remain. But most may not remain. Okay, this is my past experience in all these last few cycles in crypto. So you need to understand how to get out, exit using price action. All right, so I also trade crypto stocks, crypto related stocks, like for example Coinbase. Is when I want to show you guys, this is a very blatant manipulation, very blatant manipulation. Can you see, right? US SEC SG sue Coinbase one day after suing Binance. Can you guys see this? One day after suing Binance. Now, of course, if you are holding on to Coinbase stocks, how will you feel? You will panic, right? Wow, SEC going to sue Coinbase. Wow, it's a very legal issue. There's some fraud going on, right? And then the stock naturally gap down, right? This is the swing low. Draw a line across. Can you see the price gap down, guys? Okay, the price gap down. Okay, you can see over here, guys. Let me show you. I learned this secret when I was in the prop desk. If there's some bad news, for whatever bad news it is, if today the stock gap down because of the bad news, don't care whether it's legal, earnings, or whatever thing, right? As long as it gap down, below the immediate swing low on the left side of the chart. Below the immediate swing low on the left side of the chart. You can see over here, guys. This is the immediate swing low, and over here, right, there's going to be a lot of stop losses that's being placed by traders who are long Coinbase during that time. And if the stop price gap down and open just below the immediate swing low on the left side, right, and then close as a green bar by the end of the session, is a very subtle sign of market manipulation. Why? So before market open, right, there's this thing called matching. Before market open, right, because of the supply and demand, right, the stock price before it open at 9:30, right, there's this thing called matching. Matching means the market maker will decide what price to open the stock. And during that time, because of the SEC lawsuit, a lot of sell orders, we call it order flows coming in, sell orders flows coming in, market maker purposely open at the bottom. Why open at the bottom? Because the sell orders are coming in, and then he can use this opportunity to trigger, use their bullet, right? Use their bullet to trigger the stop losses here. Why you want to trigger the stop losses here? Like I said, I don't know also. But what I teach you guys just now is that it's a black box. The reason why I say the market maker is accumulating is because by the end of the session, he actually remained bullish, traded the bar higher and closed higher. Because when the market opened, right, the stop losses will all be triggered straight away, ding, straight away, and then market maker will be absorbing all these sell orders. Traders who are long, right? Traders who are long, their stop loss is going to be a what? A sell stop market order. So when the market maker open the stock below the swing low, it will trigger all these sell stop market order. And who's absorbing all these sell orders? The market makers. They are absorbing. The stop loss trigger, right? Ding, then he absorbed. He absorbed into it because he's the guy who triggered them, and he absorbed. So he's basically turning his position very net long. So when the market maker is net long, what happened? Even though the news is very negative, right? I knew that you must follow the market maker. He knows something. He knows something. How many of you will buy when there's bad news? Especially SEC lawsuit, right? Sounds very serious, right? In fact, this is what I did. And I think some of my students know that I actually also went in during a time on Coinbase. Right, and I use lip calls to replicate. But even if you buy outright, it almost double basically. It's like a multi-bagger. Actually, from about $40-$50 to about $90-$100. It's as good as a multi-bag. So I actually buy using lip calls, also doubled from my entry price. Made about $23,000 on this trade alone. In fact, let me show you. This is what we call chart printing. This is what we call chart printing. Imagine this, guys. If you didn't cut loss, as what the market maker wants you to do, and the price goes up, and then you see this great bar here, how will you feel? It feels like it's coming down again, right? This is what we call chart printing. Is to bluff the retailers that, okay, you that time you never sell, right? Now I'm going to bluff you that it's coming down. I can tell you some people will sell because they thought that, oh, now I got better price to sell, better sell. Then guess what? After they sell, even though the news is still negative, right? The market continue to push higher and higher and higher. This is what we call market manipulation at the very best. Because the entire retailers basically miss the rally. Only those who understand about market manipulation, retailers who understand market manipulation, can rebel against the Wall Street, the market maker. And that's what I want you guys to do, right? We titled this webinar as Retail Rebellion. So you need to know how to rebel against the big boys by understanding what they do and to follow him. And this is a very good example of how I managed to do so. When you're in the same position, right, he's not going to threaten you too much, right? You see, it's a very smooth ride. He's just bluffing people that is coming down, but actually it's just a bluffer, right? If you understand about what market manipulation techniques is trying to do. In fact, you can see over here, this is in one of our community chat, in one of my community chat on the 17th of July, 2024. You guys can see, guys, I told my students this. I've been building back my position in XRP in anticipation of the bullish false strike, false bottom scenario in the monthly chart. Okay, in the monthly chart. Okay. Okay. So this is I told my student, bullish false strike, false bottom scenario is actually one of my very potent favorite strategy in the money chart. You can see, guys, some of my students know that XRP is like my first love in crypto because I made a lot of money in the last cycle in 2016 in XRP. All my OG students, original gang students, right? In PAM, they know that I have a very big position in XRP. That was one token I made a lot of money in 2016, 2017. After that, it goes into like I call it constipation mode for many years lah. Constipation mode. Of course, you woke up. The dragon woke up for a while. After that, I also got long during the time actually over here. Then exited. Then after that came down. Then for a few years, right, it was like dead, up down, up down, up down, up down, up down. Then one fine day, I found that the market maker is secretly accumulating big time, very subtle. Even though, again, there is a lot of negative news. There's not negative news like SEC lawsuit, right? SEC lawsuit. People say that their escrow account, they are selling an XRP. The market cap is too big. There a lot of regulation. They cannot clear one, right? But like I said, focus on the positioning of the market maker. That's how you rebel against the big boys, right? You follow them. In fact, XRP dominance chart, I told my students, forms DR1, which is one of our advanced price action manipulation strategy or bullish FS false bottom scenario. Okay, you're gonna learn all this in the price action manipulation course. And this could suggest something is ruling for XRP narrative as long as dominance hold above the immediate swing low. I can tell you you don't find this kind of analysis anywhere in any crypto chat in Singapore. They are all very surface, retailer oriented. You want that kind of technical reading? I give the kind of technical reading and analysis from time to time with my students. Okay, you see, this is actually when the price is still like dead. Okay, guess what? I told my students, right? I think a lot of my students know that I have a $250,000 position, not tokens, dollar value. I bought a $250,000, 250,000 USD in XRP. I just load up because I was very confident. I knew that something is happening. In fact, my average price was about 45 cents to 47 cents. So I told my students I think in our chat group as well, right? I have a $250,000 position XRP, and then soon enough, waited July until November, then it moved. But it's okay. I can wait for 8x. I can wait 4 months. It's okay because I knew that it's going to come soon already. It's just that sometimes it could plus minus 3 to 5 months, right? Because sometimes market maker still want to bluff here, bluff there, but not years. It's okay, right? For 3 to 4 months, from 40 over 50 cents to, in fact, it went up to as high as $3.30 before retracing back to $2. Okay, I still hold on to my XRP today. It have made me more than $1 million. It was one of the easiest $1 million I made in crypto. And to me, it's very safe. And in this cycle, I believe there's going to be a lot of opportunities like this. In fact, I think the party just started. Right? There was a pre-party last few days, but I think the real party is getting started soon. Because Ethereum is waking up. The big brother Ethereum is waking up. Okay. I'll share my later on my analysis on more on XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum as well. I know a lot of people are asking me. Okay. I'll talk about stable coin. Okay. Yes, Helena, I'll talk about stable coin regulation and so on. All right. So I think it's good that I go into the basic first. Okay. Understanding the market manipulation. So I mentioned about big boys. And market maker. So whether I call them the big boys, insider, dark forces, the correct technical term is called the market maker. So who are the market makers? The market makers are usually hedge fund or fund houses that are involved in what we call market making. So what's market making? Market making is just like your money changer. When you, let's say, want to go Japan for holiday, right? You want to change your Sing for yen to Sing, right? If you buy and sell at the same time, you will lose this thing called the what? You'll lose this thing called the spread, which is what the money changer make, because the money changer is not there to exchange your currency for free. So he make money from this thing called the spread. I mean the buying and selling of the currency. So in the stock market, it's the same thing. The market maker make money from the spread. Okay, some of you ask me, so anybody can be a market maker, right? No, only the designated market maker. Designated one, that means the exchange must appoint you. You submit your application, the exchange must appoint you. Because to be a market maker, they would screen you to see if you have the correct algorithms, you have the financial backing, you have the knowledge, know-how, and so on, right? It cannot be anybody come and do market making. Agree? So you need to be designated by a market maker, and there can only be one market maker for one product. Okay? And let me share with you, guys, this buy volume here, sell volume here, more than 90%, guys, of the buy volume and sell volume that you see over here, right, are placed by the market maker. Less than 10% are placed by people like you and me. So whenever we buy or sell, right, into the stock market, even the crypto market, forex market, futures market, 90% chance you're going to hit onto the market maker is normal. It's normal. It's just that you don't want to be the one that's against him. Understand? You don't want to be the one against him. You want to be aligned with him. So even if you're aligned with him, you trade against him, it's okay. You don't want to be the majority of retailers that's against him. So market maker make money from the spread and also from what? This thing called retail flow. Okay? This thing called retail flow. So retail flow means, right, guys, if today, guys, this is, for example, UOB doing, let's say, $29.18. Okay? $29.18, let's say, for example. Then let's say today there's some good news. Let's say there's some good news, and then the retailers don't care what's the good news, but let's say there's some good news because of earnings or whatever news, right? And then the retailers went in to buy. Okay? And then push up the stock to $29.19, $29.20, $29.21, and so on. Let's say, for example, the market go and print green bar. Then because of the good news, right? Retailers keep buying and buying and buying and buying and buying. Okay? Guess what? I can tell you, right? Because the market maker is the one who put more than 90% of the orders in the market, he will know what is the average price of all these retailers who just came in and how much they come in. And by knowing how much they come in and what is the average price, I can tell you high chance you'll do what we call a squeeze. You cannot allow the price to keep going up because everyone will make money. So even though it's a good news, it doesn't mean he must go up now. He can do what we call a squeeze and squeeze all the way down. You want to cut? Don't want to cut? Never mind. I squeeze some more. You want to cut? Don't want to cut? Okay, squeeze. Squeeze until majority of people cut already. Then you see that we rebound. Have you seen that before? Right? Good news, then you don't know why the thing come down. Then people say it's priced in. It's actually not priced in. It's because, right, too many people buy. That's why sometimes even if I look at the chart, right, I realize that too many people buy, right, I know that it's going to go up one. The market maker is just going to hold that level and then slowly grind the thing down. That's why you need to understand this, right? Then you can trade and appreciate market manipulation. Okay? A lot of people also thought that you need to understand this demand supply manipulation. A lot of people thought that when there's a lot of people buying a particular stock, there's demand for the stock prices should go up. Similarly, when a lot of people selling a particular stock prices should come down. However, let me share with you something, right? If you know this, you're better than 90% of the retail traders out there. Okay? If there's a lot of people buying a particular stock prices tends to come down. If there's a lot of people selling a particular stock prices tends to go up instead. Why? Because the stock market is not a fish market. In a fish market, right, guys, if there's only one fish, like during Chinese New Year, not enough fish, right? During Chinese New Year, not enough fish, right? Then, of course, the price of fish will go up. It's normal. In a fish market, it's a normal demand and supply situation. But in the stock market, it's a different story because the stock market consists of this guy called the counterparty interest. Your counterparty in the stock market is the market maker. I call him the MM, market maker. So, for example, let's say today you want to buy stock. You want to buy stock, right? Who's going to sell to you? You need someone who counterparty, right? In fact, when I was in the prop desk, we always talk about counterparty. Who's our counterparty? In fact, we know some of the market makers' counterparty code. Then sometimes when we buy, right, it was like, oh shit, this is the 009, is the market maker from that company. Oh, better be careful. Right? So when you buy a stock, the market maker will be selling to you. And if you buy too much, you'll become what? Net short. Okay? Similarly, when you're selling stock, someone has to buy from you. The market maker will be the one because he controls more than 90% of the liquidity, as what you have learned just now. So high chance he's going to be the guy who buy from you when you're selling. And then if you sell too much, you'll become what? Net long. This is what happened. This is what happened recently. During the tariff sell down, right? The market crashed 20%. Agree? During the tariff, US-China trade war, and then a lot of people sell the stock. That's why I knew that the market maker is heavily long at the bottom. That's why the moment there's any good news, right, the market just spiked. Because the market maker is like holding too much stock at the bottom already. The moment there's some good news, right, he just rallied the entire thing up. All right. So you need to understand this, right? The positioning of the market makers. This is very important. So let me share with you guys this as well. What is the bull trap and bear trap? So firstly, you need to know what's a swing high, guys. Okay, you need to know what's a swing high. Swing high is a N-shaped or inverted V-shaped price action. Price goes up, comes down. Price goes up, comes down. Got tail, no tail, got body, no body, right, guys? I'm going to draw a straight horizontal line. Got tail, no tail, got body, no body. Okay, so whatever line I draw, just take it as is a straight line because I'm using my mouse. Okay, I'm not using a ruler, so I'm using my mouse. So whatever line I draw, take it as is a straight horizontal line. Got tail, no tail, got body, no body. You're going to draw it at the highest point. So example here. Okay, so what's a bull trap? A bull trap is basically bearish. It's a bearish signal. So basically, after you have this, price goes up, comes down, you have a swing high, you draw a line across. What happens is that you see what we call a first breakout. Okay, so imagine this is like the resistance. This is like the resistance, right? Then what happens is that traders saw this breakout above the resistance. Okay, some of you will know this thing called breakout patterns, right? So when the price goes above the resistance, it's like a breakout. Trader thought that this is going to the moon. Going to the moon. But instead of going to the moon, what happened is that the market maker go and press down the head, guys, under the water. The head stick out the water, the market maker will press down the head under the water. Then guess what? If you bought at the top, die. Get trapped already, right? So you can see over here, an example here, you see price goes up and then comes back down. So this is my swing high. I draw a line across. And then over here, right, you see this green bar, guys. This green bar is what we call the first step, the breakout. This is the chart of Netflix, and you can see that in the daily time frame, you can see, right, that trader, once they see this green bar break above the swing high, right, they thought that this is going to go to the moon. Netflix is going to go to the moon, but instead of going to the moon, again, the market maker can press down the head. And now the traders who buy the breakout are being trapped. That's why there's going to be sell pressure later on. And what we want to do is to take the opposite side of those traders who are being caught. We go caught long. Those people get caught long, we squeeze them by selling same as the market maker. How do you know that it's a real breakout? How do you differentiate between a real breakout and a fake breakout? Let me teach you guys here. How do you differentiate? Okay. So for example, guys, how do you differentiate? So let's say this is your swing high. Okay. We do what we call bar counting, up to 5 bars. Bar counting up to 5 bars. So I count the first bar that goes above the swing high as number 1. By number 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say the price action remain, above the immediate swing high, the swing high level. I would say that this is likely to be a real breakout. However, if by the 5th bar, the price action trade below the swing high, then I would say that is a bull trap pattern. It's a fake breakout. So we do what we call the 5 bar counting to differentiate between what's a real breakout and a fake breakout. Why 5 bars? Is based on my experience when I was in the prop desk. I realized that the 5 bar rule is very important. Anything more than that is not relevant anymore. So has always been my 5 bar rule. Same when I teach my students in PAM, we have certain number of bar counting for 5 bar, 6 bar for different strategies based on my experience when I was in the prop desk. So you can see over here, right? Let me share with you. What's a swing low? Swing low, I'm looking out for U-shape or V-shape price action. Price goes down, goes back up. Price goes down, goes back up. Got tail, no tail. Got body, no body, right? I'm going to draw the straight horizontal line at the lowest point. Okay? And then I'll be looking out for this bear trap pattern, which is bullish. Okay, so once you have this swing low, for bear trap, what we are looking out for is the price action to trade below the support, for example, right? Traders call it support. And very likely, right, there's going to be a lot of stop losses that's being placed below the swing low. That's where, when the price goes below the swing low, is where market makers, we know that market makers are likely to chase stop losses there. How do we know that they're really chasing a stop loss? Is when instead of going lower, going all the way down, right? The price action reverse back up above, first step, above the support level. Above the support level, right? To do what we call a bear trap. Imagine, right, you thought that it's going to all the way down, right? Come all the way down, but instead, the market reverse. Just like what happened during the recent April sell down. It trades just below the swing low, reverse. Those who shorted are being caught short. Understand? So let me share with you guys over here as well. Let's see this example here. You can see this is a price goes down, goes back up. It's a swing low, right? Price goes down, and then you can see trade below the support, and then trade back up. Okay, let me share with you guys how I will enter such trades, right? For those of you who have some experience in trading, how I will enter and put my stop loss and the potential risk reward in this kind of trade. And for those of you who are very new to trading, don't worry. I cover this extensively in the price action manipulation course. Okay, I'll teach you guys how to enter, put stop loss, how to do your risk management, right, and how to take profits and so on. Okay, in the price action manipulation program. And for those of you with some experience in trading, I will enter when the price action is above the swing low level, somewhere around here. My entry will be somewhere around here. My stop loss, I like to put my stop loss at the immediate swing low. Around the immediate swing low. So the distance between my entry and my stop loss, I call this the 1R distance. The one risk factor. 1R means the distance between your entry and your stop loss. I call this the 1R distance. And in this example, right, it potentially can give me quite a nice, I think, 5R potential target. So for example, let's say I'm risking $100, right? I will be expecting $500. I'll be expecting $500. So if I'm risking 1,000, I'll be expecting 5,000, for example. It's a risk reward, depending on your sizing, how much you risk for the trade. Agree? So let me ask you guys, okay? Let me ask you guys. Okay, the price comes down, goes back up. The price comes down and then goes back up over here. Okay. So let me ask you guys this. Is this considered a bear trap? Yes or no? Is this considered a bear trap? Yes or no? Type inside the chat box. Let me know your response, so that I know that you guys are following me. Thanks everyone for your response. I have thousands of you here, so I'm basically seeing a lot of yes. Very little no, but a lot of yes. Very good. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. Very good. Okay. Okay, so this is considered a bear trap. The price action remained above the swing low up to 5 bars, right? Even though after 5 bars. So this is definitely a bear trap pattern. And let's say I will enter somewhere around here. Stop loss somewhere around here. My entry versus stop loss 1R distance here. Potential target also about 5R. In fact, this is also a swing low. Price comes down, goes up. Bear trap pattern, you see. Okay, this is also a U-shaped price action. Price comes down, goes back. You can see over here, guys. This is actually earnings. Sometimes, right, just before the earnings, if the market maker did a bear trap, right? If the market maker did a bear trap, right, it's a very subtle sign that they know something. You can see just before earnings, the market maker do a bear trap. It's like subtly telling us that he's building a long position for something that we don't know. Right? That's why you see later on to see the after earnings, right? After the price actually gap up. After that. Now, after, of course, the retailers went to buy, the retailers become what? The retailers become the exit liquidity. See, the market maker buy at the bottom here. The price gap up because of earnings. Retailers thought it's a good earnings, they buy, die. Then market maker exit onto the retailers. Has always been like this. Understand? Okay. Okay, some of you asked me what's the time frame to use. Kimberly asked, let me share with you, guys, the time frame to use this. So let me use a different color here. So swing trading for stocks, actually for stocks specifically, I'll be using 1 year, 2 days instead of 1 year, 1 day. But the same concept applies for 1 year, 2 days chart, or the 4 years, 1 week chart for swing trading. You will be taught how to use all these time frames in the price action manipulation program. And for scalping, or what we call short-term trading, short-term, my students are taught how to trade the 5 days, 30 minutes chart. If you want to use the 60-minute, also can, but try not to go below 30 minutes. For Forex, you want to use the 4 hours, also can. Okay, try not to go below the 30 minutes chart. There will be too much noise. Okay. So this example of Micron that I want to share with you guys is you see the price action came down and then reversed. This is actually a swing low. Okay, so you can see a lot of traders, right, who buy into the Micron stocks during that time, their stop loss is somewhere here, very subtle. And what happened is that just before the earnings, I see this is the earnings, right? In fact, I share this with my students as well, right? And then they know that I have a Micron position before the earnings. I trim some position off, but I still hold a 3/4 of my position before the earnings. So you can see very subtle. The price action goes below the swing low and goes back up. You can see this tail over here to trigger the stop losses that been placed by the retailers who buy in here. Right? And guess what? Earnings came out and then the stop price actually do a gap up. Then of course I exited. I made about $7,491. Of course I exited because I knew that this is retailers will likely come in. Then after that, of course, the stock price came down. And a lot of my students actually, some of my students went in to buy. They know that I went into Micron before the earnings, and also some of them closed the trade at very good profit at about 25% profit. I think within just 1 or 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks only. Very good profits, right? That's how I traded all these years. Okay, of course you can use, if you want to use options to have a more risk defined in case the thing go against you. You can use option to make it more risk defined. I'm not saying that you must only trade when there's earnings. In fact, most of the time, my trades are not across the earnings, and it still works out pretty well, right? This is during the Hong Kong stocks, the China stocks major rally last year, right? And I actually shared before, right? And then I made more than $100,000, right? On the China Hong Kong stocks, even though it was a very, I think, very down market during the time, right? A lot of the Hong Kong stocks, China stocks position went up. I made a lot of money on my Leap Course, Weibo, Momo, 1698, and a lot of stocks, and actually gave a signal to most of my students. Right, they have time to actually get in, actually, right, about 1 month before that. And not, in fact, some of my students made it a cost fee, right, for Micron, Weibo, Dada, and all these stocks. Okay, and all this is possible using the price action manipulation strategy. Right, what I do every day is to manually screen all these opportunities. Right, I always tell my students that every day, right, I screen US market, China, Hong Kong market, and then the crypto market. I will basically have my coffee and then I slowly screen. That's how I find all these juicy trades, right? To share sometimes in the Discord channel as well. Okay. How I apply this to crypto? Some of you are very curious, right? So let me share with you how I made more than $100,000 in, for example, ICP. Okay. So ICP, this is I'm using the perpetual futures, right? To enter this trade. To be frank, ICP long-term fundamentals to me is like I said, a lot of odds. I think they will not be around the next after this cycle. Okay, I'm not saying ICP won't be around. I'm just saying that it's all speculative. I'm not going to hold this for 5 years, 10 years, and then just close eyes on. I need to do something about it after I buy. But I saw opportunity because it's an advanced crypto, because it's listed in Binance. It's advanced means that there's liquidity. There's liquidity for speculation. I went in to buy using my Binance account, 5,724 ICP tokens at $4.37. $3.72. Okay. I have a 25% exposure here on the perpetual futures. Why I use perpetual futures? I use it for fun because I want to test the perpetual futures. I don't really use perpetual futures, so this is actually one of my first few trades when I use perpetual futures. I usually just use outright to buy the spot. So I bought $25,000 here and I bought 50K of spot position. I sized my trade normal trades in crypto about 50 to 100K each position. So this one I sized about 75K. So I have a 75K position at $4.37. Why? Because I saw a very subtle market manipulation pattern. It's my favorite bullish 4-strike bar formation strategy. So again, you guys can join me in my upcoming webinar where I'm going to show you guys some of these strategies that I personally use, okay, in the crypto market as well. So you see, I saw a very subtle bullish 4-strike bar formation strategy here. You see, it's like came down, then very subtle, very boring, right? But I saw that market makers is basically accumulating, right? Accumulating ICP. In fact, in one of our community chat, I told my students that I'm long the ICP using perpetual futures. I always tell people, my students, that the good thing, right, about coming for the PAM course is that I'm not just a trader. I'm also in crypto. So basically, when you come to PAM, price action manipulation, you get the best of both worlds. One stone, kill two birds. Because if you have any questions on crypto, I'll be there to assist you. It's not going to be a full-fledged crypto course, but of course, if you have issues with you're not sure what accounts to use to open, is there a setup in this particular crypto based on what I teach you guys in terms of setup, you can always ask in our community chat. Okay. And it actually 2 to 3x, right? In less than 2 months. That's it. I started to exit my position because this is what we call a flush up bar. This is what we call a flush up bar. And I knew that a lot of retailers are coming in. A lot of retailers come in. So a lot of retailers are coming in. Okay, to become exit liquidity. Because now suddenly there's a lot of attention on ICP. A lot of retailers are coming in. And that's when I started to exit my position around $11. In fact, I exit all my position above $11. Slowly exit everything. On the perpetual futures side, I made about 19 times 2, 38,000. Okay, this is when after I sold half. Eventually, I sold everything above $11, right? My spot position also exit all above $11 before the entire market came down. And in fact, it came back all the way down. But I'm starting to see, right? I'm starting to see ICP possibly making a manipulation pattern by the end of this month. If you know PAM strategy, you understand what I meant. Okay? That's why when you have the strategy, you understand the strategy, you have that set of strategies to use, right? It will open up opportunities for you. Right? You can see what most traders may not be able to see if they are not trained in market manipulation. And you can start to take on minimal risk for high return. You see, all my risk, right, for this trade is like this only. But it's a very high, in my view, very high win rate, and the risk reward is very good. You wait for the 20 to cross 50, then wait for the trend to form, too late already. That's why I don't really do like trend following, this kind of thing, because you wait until the 20 cross 50, the trend nice for you, too late. By then I can tell you the market has really moved all the way substantially. Then you wait for the thing to retrace. All this is sometimes the trend there will initial burst after it die. Usually, if you want to get the best risk reward, is to get in before any trend formation has been apparent obvious to anyone. Agree? And that it can only be done, right, in my view, using price action. In fact, I also entered like KSM. Okay, about 943 KSM. This was end of the year. I remember before I go for a holiday, I saw this. Actually, I don't want to trade anymore before I go holiday, but I saw this cannot resist so I just enter, right? And luckily within a few days only, actually I think it's only a few days, pump. I made about $19,000, exited, okay, by using the price action manipulation strategy. Once you understand the strategy, when there's opportunity, right, you will just ring a bell. You will understand what I'm talking about already. Okay. Same for Engine, IOST exited about 12,000, 15,000 using perpetual futures. Okay. All after I exited have all came down after that. That's how I've been trading crypto all these years. And let me share with you this list, right? I think a lot of you are waiting for this 2025 list. So the reason why I'm sharing with you this list is there's thousands of crypto out there. In fact, I think now there's like 7,000, 8,000 or even more crypto in the market now. And there's many narratives. Okay, so I don't want you guys to buy into some dodgy tokens and then that the project you don't see anymore, right? So at least these are, I think, I will constantly review them. Doesn't mean that they are the best, right? They, in my view, all speculative, except Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. Okay, and probably some of the other odds, but majority still speculative, means that they are the safer speculative one. But the key is to go use the PAM bullish structure to enter. Understand? And then what you have learned in the course to exit your strategy, the exit strategies. Okay, go through them, because I told my students that I share this list, you go through them one by one on the weekly chart. Use the weekly and the monthly. This is actually one of the things I teach my students. Use the monthly or the weekly. This is where the market makers hide their intention. This is the time frame where they hide their intention. Mustafa asked me, what about Solana? I'm not a fan of Solana, so I don't want to put it inside. I purposely take out Solana because I'm not a fan of Solana, because they are linked to FTX last time. So I'm biased on Solana. So I have my own bias in crypto also. There are certain things I don't touch on. Like generally meme coin I don't touch. Like meme coin I don't touch. Okay. But lucky I never touch. A lot of meme die after that. After the hype last year, right? Earlier this year or last year, right? Late last year. Okay. So the key thing is to use the PAM strategies to identify the structure using monthly, weekly chart, and then learn how to exit. That's how you get do minimal risk for high return. Understand? And I think the window opportunity to basically build up all this position is in the next few months. It doesn't last long, right? In crypto, right, the window opportunity, right, once you open, right, you only last a period of time. Then after that, close ready means that right, means that the risk reward is no longer as good. So sometimes when the window is there, the signal is there, you need to make very decisive action already. Okay, so prepare yourself, learn early, so that when opportunities come along, you are able to understand what to do, how to size a position, what kind of strategies I'm looking at. And a lot of people ask me, when is the odd season? When moon, right? When moon. And I've been telling my students to watch out for this, right? This is actually our advanced price action manipulation strategy called DR strategy. But for now, you can just take it as it's a bear trap pattern. Okay, this is what you have just learned. Price came down, goes up. You see, price come down, goes up, right? This is what you just learned, a bear trap for Ethereum against Bitcoin. Why is it that looking at Ethereum against Bitcoin is very important? You see, a few years ago, right, when Ethereum against Bitcoin chart did what we call this is a bull trap pattern, right, which is bearish. This is what you guys have learned just now. The market was, the entire crypto market odds, right, basically died. Why? Ethereum is like the commander of the odds. I have this analogy with my friends in crypto. All of my friends are big whales in crypto. They are like very they are very focused on crypto, and so we always talk about all these and we have all these kind of energy. Ethereum is like the commander, right? The commander die, all the soldiers all die. That's why when Ethereum is underperforming Bitcoin, odds suffer last few years. That's why you can see from the chart after the bull trap died. However, things started to change a few months ago, actually, 1-2 months ago. After I saw this bear trap pattern, which is bullish. Ethereum is starting to outperform Bitcoin. In fact, I started to reposition into Ethereum heavily around 0.025 and below. I think my students, some of them will know what I'm talking about, right? I started to buy into Ethereum. Okay, and I think there's still a lot more leg. I think you should go back to about 0.05 level, which is there's still a lot of room for it to go before I will re-evaluate the chart. For as long as the price action remain above this immediate swing low, there's a high chance of alt season coming soon, in my view. Because now the commander is leading the front to attack the enemy. The liquidity will eventually be extended to the odds. That's why I say now is an exciting time, right? For the retailers to really get on board. Okay. Bitcoin is basically breaking all-time high. And my view is that recently I also told my students that this is actually a bull trap pattern. Yes, temporary short-term, there's some sell down because of this bull trap pattern. Okay. But the moment the price action break above the immediate swing high, right, basically we flip up higher. We flip to bullish mode now. Okay. And then now there's no signs of top. There's no flush up bars. There's no bull trap pattern again. So very likely Bitcoin is likely to grind higher or go sideways, which is good. Because now Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin. Illiquidity is now shifting from Bitcoin to Ethereum and then later on to alts. It doesn't mean that Bitcoin is going to crash. It's good that Bitcoin goes sideways. This is how alt season started last time. Bitcoin goes up, then constipate, then this is where Ethereum start to chong. We got chong means run. And then it all starting to run as well later on. The liquidity start to extend. All right, okay. Some of you ask me what's my target price for Bitcoin. Let me share with you my mental model. Not financial advice, but this is my mental model for Bitcoin and some of the cryptos. So if you want, right, you can take a screenshot if you want. Okay. I updated this as of 18th of July, which is a few days ago. Yesterday, right? Is it yesterday? Yeah. Okay, so prices may be a bit different, but it's generally there, guys. So gold market cap is about 22.44 trillion. Bitcoin market cap about 2.37 trillion. This is about 10.56% of gold market cap as of 18th of July when I do this slide. I'm expecting, right, Bitcoin to eventually achieve 20% of gold market cap. I think it's achievable, right? I think it's really achievable because personally, it's just a matter of time, right? Fiat devaluating and the use case of a digital gold is becoming more and more apparent to Wall Street, right? So hitting 20%, I don't think is a big issue, right? So I really have a target price from now until mid-2026, at least 200,000. Moving forward 3 to 5 years, some people may say that this is FUD. This is FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt. To say that it will take 3 to 5 years, right? My friends, my crypto friends will tell me I'm FUDing the market by giving such a low estimate. But I do think that by mid-2026, we should have another bear market. That means it will go sideways before it goes another leg up. That's why I still give a 3 to 5 years mark here to achieve more than $500,000 per Bitcoin. This will be about 50% of gold market cap. Eventually, right? That's my take in the long term. But I'm not going to wait until then. I don't like to go through winter, crypto winter. So if it run up a lot and then I see a signs of market top in price action, I will exit. Right? Before getting in again. How about Ethereum? Ethereum is designed as a decentralized blockchain with smart contract functionality. It's like the Microsoft in crypto. It's like an operating system in crypto. And now, right, it's used for a lot of transactions. It's the most trusted smart contract layer. A lot of the applications in crypto are built on top of Ethereum. There are many what we call layer ones, but Ethereum is like the Microsoft. There can be Apple, but Microsoft is still has the, I think, the biggest, right, market share. Just like Ethereum. There's Polkadot, but Ethereum is still like the number one layer ones. In fact, a lot of the stable coins, I believe some of you may have heard before, recently, is that Tom Lee even mentioned as well that a lot of because of the Genius Act, the US, in fact, I think yesterday Donald Trump just signed this into law, right? To facilitate the implementation of stablecoin regulation, right? A lot of banks is going to have their own stablecoins, I believe, right? And supporting the economy of stablecoins, right? Stablecoin market is likely to grow about 4 to 5 times. And they're likely to run on the most trusted layer, which is Ethereum. And this is going to generate a lot of demand and also gas fees for Ethereum, which translate to higher prices, because when you need how do you pay gas fee? People have to buy Ethereum, right? And then some of these big institutions may buy Ethereum to stake it. By staking it, they will have to, it gives them a say in the protocol to secure the network. So this is going to drive a lot of demand. And people, is like game theory. Game theory, right? People will start to hawk their Ethereum, because knowing that it's just like Bitcoin. Why Bitcoin is so pricey? Because it's a game theory, because people know that a lot of demand is coming in. People don't sell, right? So I think now it's about 10% of Microsoft market cap. I think eventually you'll be able to achieve 20% and even 50%, which gives me about 6K to 15K, which is about 2 to 5x in the next from now until the next 5 years, right? That's my view for Ethereum eventually. Of course, now I think it's a bit toppish because of recent run. So traders may want prices to cool down a little bit more. If I were to buy now, it will not be based on any bullish PAM structure. It'll be just based on my fundamental belief that it will hit at least 6K. Because now there's no structure, because prices recently run. The bullish PAM structure for Ethereum actually formed last few months already. Okay. How about Ripple? So when we compare Ripple is basically would be compared to as a I would say a payment network, right? Payment network, just like in the traditional industry, will be like Amex, MasterCard, Visa, moving money around, right? Getting a transaction fee by moving money around, people paying, transacting, holding billions of dollars of payment flows. Ripple will also do this, right? In fact, this is their core use case. On-demand liquidity, ODL is their protocol, right? So that you don't need silos liquidity all over the place, right? For banks or institutions to send money overseas. You don't need that kind of silo, like whole certain currency in order to transact. You can use Ripple as a cross currency. And how will Ripple benefit from stablecoin regulation? Some of you may ask me. I tell my students, right? Stablecoin is like the goods. Ripple, right? It's like the lorry that move the goods lah. And that's what Ripple is doing. I think that is their game plan. They have been building up the infrastructure, the regulation around that. They will be complementary to the stablecoin regulation, because you cannot transact. Yes, you can build USDC stablecoin on top of Ethereum, but then again, in order to move money fast, you need a very fast settlement layer. And in my view, I think Ripple is one of the regulated, trusted, US-based. Most importantly, you must be US-based, because Donald Trump is very, very concerned. It must be from US-based company, right? That will help to all these stablecoins to transact fast. And then when there's transaction going on, they have to buy and burn XRP. They have to hold XRP. That's where the demand will come in. All right. So eventually, I think that XRP will be as good as the average of the market cap of all these big payment companies. Their average market cap is of 466 billion as of my 18th of July, which is about 41%. It's not so far away actually, right? Because of the recent run. And that's the reason why I entered XRP when it was less than 50 cents. I told my students, fundamentally, there is a narrative. Technically, there's a setup. You know, sometimes I love this kind of trade. Fundamentally, got very nice narrative. Technically, have a very potent PAM structure. All stars align. Risk very low. No, they'll say no risk. Nothing is no risk, but very low. High risk reward. I like this. That's why I went very big into XRP. Million term target $6, not very fantastic. I know, not very fantastic from today's price because there's reason gone up so much, right? So actually my target price for XRP is not too high. It's actually $6 to $8. So if you ask me, actually another 2x, 3x from here. Okay, not very exciting, but it is what it is because it has really almost 10x from the bottom already, right? Okay. In fact, I share this in one of our community chat with my students, right? This is my view on the current price action and the narrative for XRP, right? You can see over here. It's a strong contender to take market share from SWIFT in the multi-trillion-dollar remittance industry. Regulatory clarity having resolved the long-standing SEC lawsuit. Growing institutional use case, strong use case to disrupt payment industry. IRUSD stablecoin benefit from Genius Act recently. Genius Act, I think I spelled wrongly, but never mind. XRP ETF, likely going to be launched a few ETF on XRP. XRP Army, which is got cult, you know what's a cult? There's a cult behind it. They call them the XRP holders call themselves the XRP Army. Right. Okay. Because it's the OG token, original gangster token, never die one. Been through many crypto winters. Okay. So these are things that from time to time I do share also, right, with my students in the community. Right. And also in one of our community chat group recently, some of you asked me about crypto treasury companies. So I do look at crypto treasury companies as well. Okay. I think there's a lot of them. For Bitcoin, there's like Meta Planet, there's Smarter Web Company, all this kind of treasury, MicroStrategy. Ethereum, I think there's SBAT. There's also recently Tom Lee one, BMNR. We have Tau, which is recently I share with my students in one of our community chat. Yes, we branded to Tau X. So I actually went in about $3.36, somewhere around here. Okay, exited already. Exited. I think a lot of students went in as well, right? Exited. I think my price to exit is not very good, but it's at the top lah, so it's okay, right? $9.65, 70%. I still hold my remainder 30%, so it's okay. I still hold my remainder 30% lah. Okay, so it's about almost a 3x run, 2.5x to 3x run from the bottom. So I think a lot of my students in one of our community chat have also made a lot of money in TauX recently. Right, this is I think just less than a month, right? The run. Now it's looking a bit toppish, so that's why I reduced some of my sizes, right? In TauX. But it's not just TauX, but I think there's a lot of crypto treasury companies I'm focusing on. They're under my radar. They're actually in one of my Excel sheet. I'm monitoring all of them in terms of the price action and in terms of their news flow, their narrative. I'm monitoring them. Okay. And that's how I open up all these opportunities, because I think that sometimes we have to be exposed to all these ways of making money in the markets, right? Whenever there's a certain narrative that's brewing. Okay. And let me share with you this as well from one of my students, Vivian. She sent me this in April 2019. So in less than 3 months, regardless of the volatility of the current market, she mentioned that she managed to make back a cost fee by using methods that I've taught all my students. So I'm very happy for her. In fact, a lot of my students made back a cost fee very fast. It's like I shared with you guys just now. Like for example, the crypto exit, a lot of my students exited. You have saved them thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And some of them have made a very good fortune in the markets trading all these asset class using the price action manipulation strategy as well. Okay. In fact, let me share with you this Joshua, right? One of my students in price action manipulation group. Right, so he actually shared this in our friendly chat. We have this friendly chat channel in the price action manipulation Discord channel. So upon enrollment, right, you guys will be added into our this. You'll be able to see this friendly chat group in the Discord channel. Okay. So he mentioned he's a typical Singaporean. I have an interview with him. I met him live, right, during the Outlook event as well. He basically shared me this at the start of this year. This is actually 1st Jan 2025, earlier this year, right? He mentioned that he's actually pressured by his family members to buy a car in Singapore. And as you all know, you all don't know that. If you all don't know, right, Singapore buying car is very expensive because of the high COE. But he ignored the family pressure. Basically, he used his capital to invest in the US market after watching Adam's free YouTube video back in 2020, 2021. Right? And then his decision not to purchase the family car, despite some inconveniences, right, in the short term, allowed him to compound his wealth in the next 3 years due to delayed gratification. So in total, he spent more than $15,000 in financial education, purchasing courses from Brianna Profits and others. Actually, he will have saved more than half if he just purchased Brianna courses, and I think you will have more benefit, right? Okay. Brianna Profits, I think enough already. Okay, I'm biased. Okay, and this did not sit well with family members as financial courses are usually perceived to scam others of their money. Instead of seeing it that way, right, he actually used a lot of the things that what Adam teach, what Bang teach, what I have taught my students as well in his trading and investing. In fact, fast forward over here, he mentioned that 2024, he ended up with almost $500,000 in year-to-date profits. Fantastic, right? About 160% return. Combined with spare capital not deployed in the markets, he's basically unofficially a Singapore millionaire. I think by now he's a millionaire already. Right? Within 3 years of investing, trading without leverage and options. So I'm very happy for him. This is the reason why I teach. This gives me very, very strong fulfillment, very, very high fulfillment. Right? Whenever my students do well in the trading, using the things that we teach. In fact, this post garnered a lot of likes from my students, and a lot of them start to share their success stories as well, right, at the start of this year. So I'm happy for them. And I look forward to you guys as well to join me and my community, right? And also looking forward to your good news, right, as you join and share your good news next year, right? And also here, Stefan sent me this thank you note. Can you guys see? He's one of my students from from PAM as well. So he mentioned here, right, he wanted to express his full gratitude in finding out about price action manipulation. And he basically went in almost all in one stock in the Australian market, which is, he mentioned that he should not have done that. I think it's okay, right? Because I always tell my students that when we trade, we can look for from the portfolio risk level angle. For example, let's say in a portfolio, it's advisable to risk up to 10%. So let's say your risk in your portfolio is up to 10%, right? If you are entering, let's say 10 position, means you are going to risk 1% on each position, right? If you're entering 5 positions, means you're going to risk about 2% on each position. And if you're going in 1 position, then of course you will be risking about 10%. And if you want to do that just on 1 position, 10%, then you must make sure that you have very high conviction. It's just like George Soros, Stanley Druckenmiller, when they trade. I believe George Soros last time, and even Stanley Druckenmiller, they actually went in very big, risking 10-20% of their fund when they were trading the quantum fund. In fact, there was a very famous story, right, when I think George Soros actually told Stan Druckenmiller to go for the jugular in one of their trades, right? To go for the jugular in, I think they were long or short the euro against the Deutschmark, for example, right? And that trade itself, right, they actually made billions of dollars. It's a very famous story, right? You can just Google George Soros go for the jugular. I think the story about how they did the trade was there. Okay. So from time to time, if trader want to take a bigger risk on one position, I don't think there's anything wrong, but you must be able to tell yourself that you are risking 10%. Okay. So he mentioned that he has very big conviction on the stock and held on to further 20x his initial capital. So his initial capital is actually around, I think it's about 5k USD, and he managed to turn this into a $156,000. So this is almost 30x his initial capital. Okay, this is almost 30x his initial capital. So this is fantastic performance, guys. This is more than his cost fee already. And his main weakness is not knowing where to take profits until he bought the course back in December, where he learned about bullish and bearish force strike. So he mentioned that there's a force stop at DW8, which is a stock that he bought, and he took out 90% of the profits and hang on to the remainder 10%. So the remainder 10% actually dropped 80%, which doesn't matter, right? He mentioned that if I have not found out about price manipulation strategy, I'll probably be back to where it was at the beginning of the year, was due to the China stock market slump. So he want to thank me for actually making a very big head start in his life, and for that, I'm very happy for him, right? As a mentor, when my students do well, I'm very happy for them. Okay. And I think this has really changed the way he trade the markets, right? And helped him to build his first pot of gold, right? And basically what Stefan did here is what we call the multi-bagger mentor model. So like I mentioned earlier on, I trade stocks or even crypto with multi-bagger potential, and also trades that what I call normal technical setup, where I risk 1 to 2% for 2 to 4%. Right? Over here, let me share with you the multi-bagger mentor model. How to make $1 million from $10,000? You need to 10x twice in a lifetime using one stock or two stock. Okay, easy, right? 10x twice, right? From one stock or two stock. Let me share with you, guys, right? In the last 5, 10, 15 years, right? I think there's a lot of stocks that managed to do a 5x, 10x. For example, Netflix, Meta, previously Facebook, all your fangs, right? Google, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla. If you bought before COVID, I think it will be 50x, right? And Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. There's also many other stocks. Like even WD. I remember Walker Dunlop last time during the financial crisis. One of my friend actually told me to buy into this particular stock, right? I think you almost 10x as well, right? So, of course, this is what we call growth stocks or speculative trades in crypto. It doesn't mean that even if they are identified as potential multi-bagger, you will just buy them, right? Only buying, the technicals must align. That means if fundamentally, even though I feel that they have very good fundamentals, like even like Coinbase, Palantir, I made a lot of money in Palantir as well, right? Doesn't mean that I'll just buy. It's good to have a bullish PAM structure aligned to the fundamentals. That's how you get very explosive gains. Okay. And of course, stocks like, let's say, Walmart, Costco may not multi-bag anytime sooner, right? They may double or triple in a 5 year, 10 years period, but I think usually growth-oriented stocks like Coinbase, Palantir, Tesla, these are stocks that are under my radar. Okay, they have a team, AI team around it now, and also certain cryptos. Okay, so of course you don't have to use 10K, right? This is just a basic mental model I teach people. You could start with 12K and then split them into 4K, and then let's say 4K. And then let's say this one 10x, this become 40K. 40K, and this one you buy Dogecoin go to zero. But actually that Dogecoin never go to zero, right? But let's say you buy something go to zero, right? Sometimes you make some mistakes, it's fine. Right? Sometimes I buy certain things, it may not turn out well, but most of the things I buy at least did well eventually, right? So let's say for example, this one you want to be conservative, what you can do is you can pull back the 20K. Basically, you take out your capital and you still take some money out, right? Then you to you is like the entire thing is free. Then what I will do is I will just split them into 20K, 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 and then I will go for another 5-10x on certain stocks that I have conviction in. And that's how I slowly, from a small capital, I will slowly compound it into a bigger size over time, not overnight, but eventually over time with the right mental model. Using price action manipulation strategies to help you time your entries and your exit. That's very important. Okay. In fact, this is the stock that Stefan actually bought in. I think he actually exited here. This is actually a bull trap pattern. This is actually a bull trap pattern. In fact, I did a Google yesterday. I realized that this stock is delisted. That means if you never sell, what is this chart pattern called, guys? This is what we call internal. This is what I call internal injury. Okay? This is what I call internal injury. Okay, this is what I call internal injury. In fact, I think it's delisted. So some of these kind of stock, if you never sell, right, if it gets pumped, probably after once a while, then after that die. So it's very important to know how to exit. Okay, in fact, over here, Kenneth mentioned, right, his win rate surprising 90%. What he did is combine SPY strategy with flow trading and volatility trading strategies. Okay. And also like Johan, one of my students here, right, he actually combined PAM and options. And it's really powerful when he actually executed. So personally, I don't really use options, right? I probably use like less than 5% of the time for fun, actually. I use mainly just outright, but I think about less than 30% of my students still use options. But if you're using options, you can combine them if you want. Okay? Thank you. You combine them if you want. If you don't know options, then it's okay to do outright. Inherently, when you do outright, it's also a form of hedge. Right? It's also a form of hedging your portfolio. Preventing you from over leveraging as well. Okay? So how can you trade profitably with a full-time job? Some of you asked me in the chat, right? Should you quit your job? So I have a lot of students who are bankers, analysts, teachers, right? In fact, during COVID, I think I have a lot of pilots. I have a lot of pilots in my community. A lot of students, especially COVID, a lot of them from the airline industry, pilots, stewardess, right? A lot of them came to SPY. I don't know why. Maybe they are more risk taker, right? Okay. So if you have fulfillment in what you are doing, I would say you may want to focus more on swing trading. That means if once you're proficient in swing trading, you only need less than 15 minutes a day to manage your position. You can trade stocks, forex, futures, and even crypto. Of course, if you love to do short-term trading, I do teach them in the price action manipulation course as well. Trading forex, futures, and even stocks. Stocks, in fact, I have a special lesson called DR1X for scalping stocks. Okay, for scalping stocks as well. Okay, of course, if you don't like your boss and you don't like what you're doing, then of course you can do this full time. I have a lot of friends who are also doing full time as well. Okay. And upon enrollment, right, you'll be added into our community chat, right? And this example of my community chat many years ago, right? And basically in the community chat, you're going to meet a lot of people from all walks of life. It's not just coming for the course to learn the strategies. Of course, strategy is very important, but it's also about networking, having a group of, be inside a community of traders, right? To be inside a community of traders, like-minded traders. And I will say that in our community, in Prina Profits, we have a lot of big brains inside our community. A lot of, in my community especially, I think we have a lot of proprietary traders, veteran traders, hedge fund managers, asset managers, right? Inside community. In fact, Adam Bang, myself, is also inside, right? Of course, but me and my coaches will be there answering most of the questions related to trading. Like Stija is actually a fund manager. He manages 800 million of AUM. So he's actually a very veteran fund manager. He famously mentioned this in my community chat group before. Aim to make $500 a day. This will be 10K a month. So you can say bye-bye to your boss, right? So I would say for new traders, right, aim to make about $100 a day. This will be around 2K USD a month. Not bad an alternative income. And if when you're risking, let's say $100 a day, your starting account size can be 3.5K to 5K USD, which I think is achievable and doable for most people. If I want to run a F&B business in Singapore, it will cost me at least 50 to 100,000. But starting a retail account, you can do so with 3.5K to 5K USD. What's the catch? The catch is that you need to invest in yourself to learn a set of proven strategies first. If not, no matter how much you put in, you'll be taken away by the market makers. Understand? So you still have to invest in a set of reliable strategies that you can use to trade the markets. I think that is also the most important part. But it's a very good step I take this as like an entrepreneurial journey. Right? Having the skill, we cannot escape one. If you are into investment, into finance, you need to be able to learn how to look at the charts. You cannot escape one. In fact, even when I go holiday, right, I also look at the charts. When is the good time to change my Sing to Yen, right, and all this kind of thing, right? Charting will help you in all areas of life. Okay. In fact, in my community chat, I have a lot of people from all sorts of life here. In fact, I was from SMU last time. It's a university in Singapore. A lot of my friends joined me from SMU. One of them is my good friend JQ. He's like the valedictorian standard, right? In fact, he's a very smart guy. Within like, even there's like more than a year before he graduated, right? He's already headhunted by one of the top US banks. So he actually went to the bank as a management associate for more than 5 years. Then after that, he know that I came out of the prop desk and I made a lot of money in the prop desk because I shared with him what we do in the prop desk as well. And then he actually joined the price action manipulation course, right? And after he came for the course, in less than I think 1 year, he actually joined a prop desk, quit his job in the US bank, joined the prop desk, make a lot of money in the prop desk. Today, he's an independent trader at home. He's a father of 3 kids. His wife go to work lah. He trade from home. He's like a stay-home father, full-time prop trader. Right? And I'm very happy for him because he also help to from time to time help me answer some questions. And you can see that he's very logical. He's very logical when he answers questions. Right? So it's very good to have him in the community as well. I have many of my friends from SMU in the community. I think more than 30 of my boys and girls friends from SMU are all inside my community because they know me for many years, and then they know that I teach sure got some standard one, right? And I think a lot of them benefited from the course as well. Even my brother, my sister, my uncle, my auntie, my cousin all come to spy on. My whole family tree can come on, all come already. Right. So I think it's something that I think anyone from all walks of life can join. Even my own brother, my own younger brother, he quit his job in one of the top US bank as well for the last 8 to 9 years. He's been trading at home, looking after 2 kids, semi-retired. trading as a prop desk trader at home using the strategies that I taught, right? All these years. So it can be done. Derek as well here. He's from Malaysia. He's an engineer from Malaysia. Very, I would say, person who is very hungry and has a lot of, I think, very good attitude towards trading. He's very positive. Whenever I think he got some he was struggling at the start, but he didn't give up. So I also give him a lot of guidance, and he started to improve the way he looked at the charts, screening and trading, and then he back tested a lot, and then he made very good money from forex. Right. So he mentioned this to me, right? His portfolio increased 115% from Q2. He did a lot of backtesting in forex pairs in different time frames, and he find that the setup in the 4 hours time frame is less noisy in terms of his lifestyle and psychology. So he actually backtests a lot. So he's very conservative one, guys. So he want to trust his own backtesting. So he backtests himself, and then he was so confident that he raised 5% per trade and he doubled his account. In fact, he started with a 3.5k USD account, and he turned it into eventually, after half a year, to 15.6k USD and more. Subsequently, very, very consistent, getting very consistent in his forex trading. I teach forex trading as well in the price action manipulation course. Okay, so I'm very, very happy for him. I told my students I don't do backtesting. I don't do backtesting because I've been trading for more than 10 years. I do something more powerful than backtesting. Is called forward testing. Because today I'm managing almost more than $2 million of together my stock and my crypto portfolio. I think it's almost 3 million. Managing 2 asset classes, and I trade using my own strategies. I don't use other people's strategy on. And I always say that if my strategy doesn't work, I'll be the first to lose a lot of money. And if the market maker change any techniques, I will adapt as well. Okay, so I think a lot of you are asking me about the price action manipulation mastery package. So let me introduce this to you. Okay, a lot of you are very new to price action manipulation. So let me share with you this, how this can actually benefit you and bring your trading to the next level. Okay, so in the mid-year Retail Rebellion webinar, right, there's going to be a special deal and bonuses for everyone. Okay, so let me go through the curriculum first before I go into the bonus and the special discounted enrollment package to the PAM course. Level 1, there's going to be level 1, level 2 in the mastery package. So in level 1 will be more on the basic intro to price action manipulation trading, stock market basic, and market makers. So basically you'll learn more about the terminologies, lingos, and the basic information you need to know as a professional trader, so that you are not disadvantaged as compared to someone who have been trading for many years, right? You'll learn the basic here, even if you're a new trader. No excuse, right? Because you're going to learn the basic here as a new trader, even if you have no experience. And then trade mechanics, identifying market flow and price trends. So you're going to learn what is how to trade using margin. Okay, avoid margin call as well. Okay, and then identifying market flow. What's the bullish flow, negative flow? How do I know markets will continue in the bull run? How do I know it's going to crash? Right, I look out for this thing called a flow. And price trends, identifying uptrends and downtrends, which is important when we go into the strategy structure. Okay, and then lesson 3 on big players demand and supply manipulation. Big players demand supply manipulation. This is very important, guys. I made a lot of money, guys, based on what I teach my students in this lesson. This lesson, right, you cannot find this anywhere in the books or anywhere else. I created this through my experience when I was in the prop desk. It's about identifying key stop hunting levels by market makers, demand supply manipulation for double top and double bottom levels. This is basically, I'm going to show you guys where stop losses are being placed by retailers, because these are the key levels where market makers will chase for manipulation to take place. And once you know this, right, you can front run the market makers. You can take advantage of what happened to other traders when they got stop out. And sometimes I see, I know a lot of retailers get stop out. Then I can get in. It's like the fishes are being hunted already, right? Then you trade alongside the market makers. This will let you understand where are all the stop losses being placed. Lesson 4 will be on risk and money management, right? We'll be covering more on position sizing and placing basic and advanced orders as well, right? Do your risk management. And lesson 5 will be on execution signal. This is like your confirmation signal to buy, right? To buy the stock. We use this thing called the 3 standard bar analysis as confirmation. Okay, there will be a 3 bullish bar, 3 bearish bar to tell you when to click the button to buy or sell. Okay, once you have a strategy structure. And then lesson 6 will be on sweet spot entry and exit, the conservative and the aggressive style. Okay, so in the program, I'll be teaching you guys this thing called trade structuring itself. This is actually one of the secrets that I learned when I was in the prop desk. It's about knowing where to optimally enter the trade so that you can get your risk reward optimally, right? You can have a good chance of hitting your target price by structuring the trade properly. Where I put my stop loss, where I will enter, when do I chase, do I continue to put the orders there, and things like. We'll cover all these entry, exit questions in the lesson over here. Lesson 7 will be the first strategy you're going to learn in the price action manipulation program. Okay, the 4 strike bar formation strategy. I break this down into continuation strategy for 4 strike, reversal strategy for 4 strike. This is my favorite, very potent strategy in price action manipulation. In fact, this is the strategy that I use to make millions of dollars in XRP that I shared with you guys just now, in ICP, and many stocks as well. One of my favorite, very potent strategy with my unique criteria. And there will be a lot of examples in this lesson that you're going to learn. And also, I'm going to share with you guys another one of my advanced, very potent strategy called the UR1 and DR1 for reversal trading. Okay, my students know this as one of my favorite strategy as well, especially DR1. The recent market crash actually reversed based on DR1. It's a very potent strategy, timeless strategy. It's an evergreen, timeless strategy in the stock market. Very potent. You need to know if you want to trade price action. Okay, it's very unique. I can tell you, you cannot find this anywhere else. The criteria to use it is unique to what we do in SPY, in the price action manipulation course in PAM. Okay. Okay, so lesson 10, screening for swing trading setups. Okay, so you will learn how to screen using the Thinkorswim platform and TC2000 platform. Okay, so screening rise will be based on Thinkorswim and TC2000, and I'll give you guys the scripts to do your scanning. So you don't have to like manually go and scan, right? There'll be a scanner teach you guys how to scan. Okay. And then I'll teach you guys how to create your unique trading plan for doing your, so that it's like your expected goalpost of how much you expect to make per week, per month, per quarter, per year, based on your risk tolerance and your style of trading. And lesson 12 will be on charting and brokerage platform. So you'll learn about brokerage selection and essential charting guide for Thinkorswim by setting up the software. In basically what I see in short-term trading and swing trading is going to be what you see in Thinkorswim, and how do you use the platform. So I will be covering all. If you don't have access to Thinkorswim, I have video tutorial lessons to teach you guys how to use TC2000 as a replacement interactive brokers platform or TradingView. So don't need to worry. Okay, I have all these other platforms, video tutorial guides to teach you guys how to use them as well, even if you don't have access to Thinkorswim. Okay, and then we'll cover mental models of professional traders. So very important, just now I cover the mental models of multi-bagger positions. I take on multi-bagger positions. Here, I'm going to cover more on the winning trade psychology. I'll be sharing a lot of lessons I have when I was in the prop desk, how I train myself, right, to go through wins and loss, handle drawdowns, how to manage my psychology, how to manage winners, and so on. mental models of professional traders. Very important, right? If you want to set yourself up to become a professional trader as opposed to a retail trader. Okay. And in level 2, we'll go a further step with more strategies, basically. With more strategies, and I'm going to cover the futures, commodities, forex market, and even the crypto market over here. So level 1 will be more on just for stocks. Level 2 for all these additional asset classes, and more strategies for reversal and continuation pattern, and also for swing trading and short-term trading. Right? And also how to trade crises, guys. How do you trade a crisis and in no man's land as well? Okay? Very good, guys. Okay? So lesson 1 for over here, right, in level 2, I'll be covering market accumulation and distribution rotation model. So this is, I think, in PAM, we are the only course that teach people how to trade a crisis, right? Because I've gone through many crises since my time in the prop desk. All crises, I made a lot of money. That's how I made actually a lot of money during crisis, right? COVID and recently all this. Because there's always a consistent pattern. There's always a consistent pattern, guys, during a crisis, which I'm going to teach you guys here. Okay? And I'll share with you guys why is this pattern very consistent in the last 100 years of the bull and bust cycle, right? And how do you time your entries during a crisis so you can you can prepare yourself for the next crisis. Even though I don't think it's going to come anytime soon, but it will come eventually in the next few years. So you can prepare yourself. That's how my students take advantage of the recent crisis. And also lesson 2 on price momentum analysis. Okay, on how do you identify waves and flush. That's how I managed to time the crypto market top before it actually crashed. Okay, so understanding momentum, price momentum is also very important strategies that you need to learn. And like I mentioned, additional advanced strategies like trading continuation. Right, these are all my acronyms of my strategy. I call this for trend continuation, up continuation 1, down continuation 1, up continuation 2, down continuation 2. These are all my acronyms. And also divergence for UC structure. These are additional check. And also up reversal 2, down reversal 2. This is more for ultimate tops and ultimate bottoms. How I time. The reason why I managed to exit most of my crypto at the top of every cycle is because of UR2 or other signs of market top. And I'll be covering in this lesson, right? Going through every one of these lessons with a lot of examples. We'll cover them with a lot of examples, right? During the in the on-demand video tutorials that you're going to enroll in. Okay. Lesson 7 will be an additional strategy. So I do have a lot of strategies that I'm going to share, right? This additional strategy called inside bar break. Trading higher time frame price action factor, buy high, sell higher. This is an additional strategy that you guys can learn as well. Okay. And also for scalping, some of you are very interested to know how to scalp stocks. Let me share with you guys. I can tell you this simple stock scalping strategy, right? Someone out there could have charged you $2,000-$3,000 for this scalping strategy. I actually developed this and I put this actually in the last few years only. It's a new strategy. I put this into the PAM course for all my students. If you are interested to scalp stocks, you can just rely on this. This is a very simple, potent strategy I personally use, right, to scalp stocks. Okay. Using the lower time frame, usually to trade the lower time frame, I'll teach you guys the time frame to use with a lot of examples. In fact, all the examples I share in the lesson, right, I personally traded before. Basically, personally tested before, traded before. That's how I created the strategy. Okay, and it's going to be an eye-opener. Once you join, it's like a course within the course, right? Okay. And then you're going to learn futures and commodities market. So if you are interested about the commodities market, like index, forex, commodities, you don't have to go outside to learn. You could have learned it within the price action manipulation program. Because when I came from the prop desk, right? I would say that I'm quite a good short-term trader, right? I traded for more than about 5 years in the prop desk, scalping, short-term trading, index, forex, commodities. So I have the experience to teach you guys how to do all this trading. All right, trading S&P, Nasdaq, Dow Jones, Forex futures, commodities like gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas, copper, platinum, palladium, all these kind of commodities. How does professional traders in the prop desk manage expiration risks and rolling of the futures contracts? I'm going to teach you guys the institutional style of rolling contracts as well. And futures and commodities lesson, risk control. How do you do your risk management for futures products? Okay, we'll cover that in lesson 10. And also like Forex market, like I mentioned, you can also learn it over here in PAM. I'll teach you guys how to do your risk management. And for both Forex and futures, I'll teach you guys how to do the scalping over here in this lesson. Short-term trading, futures and Forex market. It's going to be a interesting, very interesting lesson here, right? For those of you who want to trade the lower time frame. Okay, the feedback period is usually within 24 hours. And of course, for those of you who are interested in the crypto market, this is not going to be a full-fledged crypto course, but it's enough to get you started, right? Opening accounts, which exchange to use, how do you measure performance, how do you do your risk management, right? We'll cover that in the lesson 11 of, lesson 14 and lesson 15 now, guys. Lesson 15, let me share with you guys over here. If you are interested to trade crypto, you cannot miss this lesson one. This lesson is very important. That's how I made millions of dollars in crypto. With all these guidance in this lesson, there's a tweak to the strategy here in PAM that I will cover in this lesson with a lot of examples. That's how I made millions of dollars in crypto. Okay, you cannot miss this lesson. If you want to really trade crypto, you need to go through this lesson. Okay, I'll share a lot of examples how I trade using PAM strategies, how I do my sizing and my risk management as well for crypto. Okay. And also I want to share Derek here, one of my students. He's from Malaysia, right? And he basically managed his own investment portfolio. And what he does is that, just like many of Adam's students, which are also my students as well, right? They invest in the US market, but they use PAM strategy to help them to time entries into certain stocks. Time entry into certain stocks using PAM strategies. Especially during crises, they're able to know what is the key manipulation level to enter. And that's how Derek actually managed to double his portfolio during COVID, which I'm very happy for him. I think his portfolio by now should be doing very, very well since then, right? Okay. And also, like I mentioned, you guys will, as part of the mid-year sales in Retail Rebellion, you're going to enjoy all these exclusive bonuses when you enroll today. Okay. The first bonus that the Perennial Profits team is going to give you guys is this lifetime access, guys. Lifetime access to the price action manipulation trader discussion group, our community chat group, where I will be, if there's any trading ideas, I do share my thoughts on the markets, right, on the general market there with my students, and trade validation with my students there if they're not sure on certain things that I cover in the course, right? They can always ask me and my coaches there. Okay, like recently what happened to the crypto markets, I do share my thoughts on the technicals there as well. Okay, it's worth $1,200 per year, right? But as part of the bonus for enrollment today, Perennial Profits is going to give you guys free access to the traders discussion group, right? And also the second bonus that Perennial Profits is going to give you guys access to, on top of the on-demand video lessons, level 1, level 2, you will get this trade validation sheet. So all my students have this validation sheet where they can, you can input any stocks or even crypto that you're not sure of, right, into this list. Me and my coaches will be there to validate them up to 50 trades a day, up to 250 trades per week. So you can also, if you're a new trader, you can always see what other traders are putting in and how, whether it's valid or not, by learning all these strategy setups. So it's a very good resource for every new trader as well. And of course, the risk and money management spreadsheet, right? You will be given this for free as well, worth $100. How I'm going to go into more details, of course, how to use that, right, in the video tutorial lessons. How do you do your risk management? How do you do your trading plan? Okay. So as another bonus, right, is the scripts, the screening scripts, worth about $800. Okay, it's a very important part of our support system. You're gonna get all these recorded scripts, UR, DR, bullish, bearish, FS, UCDC, inside bar break as well. Only for Think or Swim and TC2000 platform, guys. Okay, you're gonna get all these scripts. We actually spend a lot of time and a lot of resources and money, right, to actually get the programmers to create all these scripts. I personally have vetted through all these scripts, and this is the best that we can do, right, to screen out all these setups. On top of that, right, we'll be giving you this test 200 SMA script. This is like the Pokemon. This is like catching the Pokemon, right? Catching the Pokemon of the Pokemon, right? Because PAM strategies that occurs at the 200 SMA, right? PAM strategies that occurs at 200 SMA is very potent. Okay, so if you will be able to actually use this to your advantage as well. Okay. And you also receive the 5th bonus, which is the level 1 and level 2 of the quick reference guide. So it's a summary of all the PAM strategies, level 1 and level 2. Okay, it's worth about $400. So it's basically like you know, like go exam, somebody have done the summary sheet for you, right? So you will get this for free as well as part of the bonus. So all in all, right, let me break down to you the price action, the PAM mastery package. So you can actually learn the level in level 1, level 2, right? It's actually priced at $5,676 of value. And with dedicated email support if you have any questions. If you have any questions on the strategy. And also you get lifetime access to the as a part of our exclusive bonus by Piano Profits. It's worth $1,200 per year, lifetime access, and also the trade validation sheet is invaluable, right? Because you can really see what other traders are putting in, getting a lot of trade ideas from there. Okay, in fact, I can tell you, sometimes I also lazy to go and scan. Then I can actually rely on this validation sheet to get ideas from other traders as well, right? Even if you don't scan, right? It doesn't matter, right? Even if you don't scan, it doesn't matter because you can actually also use this validation sheet to get ideas from there or do your own manual screening. And also risk and money management spreadsheet, you're going to get it about $100 value, $800 value for the screening scripts, and also level 1, level 2 of the quick reference guide. Okay, in total, the value for the entire PAM mastery package is at $8,176. Okay. Okay, so the value is really there, right? However, as part of the enrollment, right, to the mid-year, doing the retail rebellion mid-year sales, right, Piano Profits is giving a limited time offer 70% off of the retail price at $5,676. Right now is going for $1,702.80. It's a very good deal, guys. It's a very good deal. You're going to secure all the bonuses that I've just mentioned, and you'll get the lock-in access instantly. So not like tomorrow or next week, you can get instantly, which is very good because you can start learning all the strategies, right? And prepare yourself for all the opportunities that I've just mentioned, right? In the US market, China, Hong Kong market, even the crypto market. I have students, right, who actually finish everything within 1 weekend. They told me it's as good as Korean drama. They finish everything. Because I can tell you, if you're passionate about trading, right, you will watch it with a lot of enthusiasm one. Because it's really, I believe what I teach is very valuable for traders and you enjoy it. You enjoy the entire video tutorial lessons. Okay, so you can use your phone on your camera to take a screen, and scan this QR code over here. It should, and then click on the link. It should redirect you to this the enrollment page, or you can just key in this. You can key in this URL into your browser, I believe, right? It should be able to redirect you to the enrollment page. Quickly go and secure your enrollment. Take action and secure enrollment. Okay, it's a very good deal, guys. Right? Is we are the enrollment fee is priced at less than a semester in the university. When I was in university, I pay about $5,000 for one semester. This is not even a semester. Okay, and I believe that whatever I teach is more valuable than, I would say, comparable to a university program. I was from the university last time. Right? And I can tell you, after 4 years, I paid, after 4 years, one semester, 5,000, right? 1 year got 2 semester. I paid $40,000 of tuition fee. After 4 years, what is the best that I get? The best that I get, right, from my university education, right, after all these years, right, I would say is the friendship and the connection I have with my friends, which I still hang out with them every other day, right? In terms of the knowledge, I think I give back most of it, right? Especially now in today's era, I think a lot of things have changed. I studied IT last time. Most of the things I studied about IT last time has really changed already. What really helps me later on in my career and my life, I would say, is the financial education knowledge that I learned from Adam, the personal development skills I learned from Adam, right? All these things you cannot learn usually don't learn in school one, but you have to take action to learn all this yourself, right? And also the experience I have when I was in the prop desk, that really helps me make a breakthrough in my trading. Okay, and I actually compile all these resources, this strategy into this course to help you guys, to empower you guys, so that it's as good as you learning from a prop desk trader, even though you are not in the prop desk. Right? I'm not a retailer to become a package into a professional trader. I came directly from the institution. The things I teach my students is as good as how I basically would want to train someone in the prop desk. I train my students to be as good as someone in the prop desk. In fact, a lot of my students who are currently with me, some of them are from the prop desk. They were sent by their bosses from other prop desks to learn before they go back to the prop desk. And some of them even go back to prop desk. The prop desk bosses ask them to trade my strategy because they know the things that I teach is considered institutional standard. Okay, so it's a very good opportunity today. I think during the mid-year sales, right, it's going for a very exclusive discount by Piranha Profits. So click on the link. I think that my team has sent the link, or you can actually scan the QR code or the tiny URL over here. Go and key it in and quickly secure your enrollment. Okay, go and secure your enrollment. Okay. Okay, guys. So I was informed by Piranha Profits that there's going to be a fast action bonus, right? To actually give extra incentive, right, for students to actually take action within the next 15 minutes. Okay, so this is our fast action bonus worth about $200 US dollar, right? So for those of you enrolled within the next 15 minutes, Piranha Profits will be able to tag you for our live jumpstart workshop. It's going to be a 2 hours online session by our resident trading coach YY. So I believe some of you may have seen YY around in Adam's group or even the options group by Bang. YY is a very seasoned trader, right? And is himself a veteran trader. He do what he preach and as well, right? And he understand what I do in the price action manipulation program. So he's going to help you guys get on board, right? Learn how to use the trading platform, how do you enter orders as well, and give you guys some guidance on starting your trading journey. Okay, so it's going to be a 2-hour session only for those of you who enrolled within the next 15 minutes. So now it's about 4:20 p.m. Sorry, 4:20 p.m. Singapore time. So I think this offer will last until 4:35 p.m. So please enroll within the next 15 minutes. Okay, and then Piranha Profits will tag you for this live jumpstart workshop. which will be conducted by our resident coach YY. Okay, so it's going to be unlimited replays access. So after the session, if you cannot join or miss out, it will be recorded and you can always review them. Okay. Okay, the first potential opportunity that I want to share with you guys is Match Group. So you all don't know, Match Group actually has got to do with dating one, like Tinder, all this, right? So of course I don't use, right? But I think this is a trend. It's a narrative. Match Group came down in the last few years, and I think there's a lot of opportunities for this kind of online dating. They are very asset-light, right? And I see some form of market manipulation happening for the chart. As you can see from here, right, this is actually a swing low. You see price action actually traded below the swing low here, taking out a lot of stop losses here. A lot of traders who bought in earlier on were now being shaken out. In fact, shaken out another time, right, of their position. So there's a good chance that Match Group may have found a bottom. So I would say between $30 to $32 is really a zone where I'll be looking to enter the trade. Okay, so I do expect this to be a potential multi-bag actually from the bottom because it has retraced almost 70-80% already. Usually stocks that retrace 70-80% but still have a very strong narrative, when they rebound, they usually rebound at least 50% from the bottom. Right? Okay, so this is something I think a stock to look out for in the next from now until end of the year. And UNH, right? I believe you probably have heard about UNH being a fundamentally good company, but in terms of price action, right? As a trader, I'm not going to buy just because it's fundamentally good, but I do respect that it's a good company. So what I do, my style is, if it actually came down here, right? This will be a key level to watch because there's going to be a lot of traders that could be liquidated, who bought in here, here, they could be liquidated later on. So if there is what we call a bear trap pattern later on, around this level here, bear trap that you learned just now, right? It's not yet happened, but if there is, then this could be a signal to take a long trade. Okay, or it doesn't mean you have to come down. I'm not saying it will come down. We don't predict the market. We are analyzing the market based on what could happen, and then we take decisive action, right? This is actually a swing low. If the next few, I would say 1-2 weeks, right, if the market actually came down and did a reversal of this key level, right, this is actually a bear trap. And then it's likely that it won't come down, go lower, and it's likely to reverse from here. So we don't predict. We will see what will happen at these key levels here that I've drawn out for UNH. Okay, so it's something that I'm watching as well. And the next one I'm looking at is Weibo. It's a China Hong Kong stocks. I've been looking at. A lot of my students know that I'm looking out for Weibo for quite some time. Made a lot of money in Weibo previously, but it came down, and after I sold, actually came down and triggered a lot of stop losses here. Recently have recovered. Fundamentally, I'm very positive, right? I think there's going to be a lot more. It's a potential multi-bag in my view in the China Hong Kong market. Selling at almost cash and is making consistent profits one. It's like the Twitter, Instagram in China, right? So if I think a good entry point will be between $8 to $9 if there's a retracement around back to this region, right? Then I think the risk reward would still be favorable to take on a view that it will multi-bag. Okay, but right now it's a bit toppish, but if it come back down, I'm not saying that it will, but if it ever come back down to this region, I think this could be an entry signal for the next leg up. Okay, so it's really a stock that I'm looking at very closely for potential multi-bags in the China Hong Kong market. Especially now, my view of Hang Seng is really for it to break all-time high. Okay. Okay. Disclaimer, guys. Disclaimer. As much as I mentioned some of these trade stock opportunity, please do your proper due diligence. And most importantly, I don't have time to go through all the strategies in PAM, in price action manipulation. So It's best that you go through the entire course, understand exactly the strategies that I'm looking at, how to enter, how to exit, so that you can best take advantage of all these potential opportunities in the next couple of months in the market, in the stock market, right? In the even the crypto market, forex market, and also the futures market. Okay, and then right now is a very good deal. It's a very good deal. It's a going the cost, the enrollment fee is going for 70% discount at 1702.8, $1,700, $2.80. It's a very good deal, guys. You will secure all the bonuses that I've just mentioned, will be provided by Piranha Profits, and you'll receive the logins instantly, not tomorrow or next week, but immediately once you have enrolled. So click on the link that my team has sent you guys, and also scan the QR code and also tiny URL as well. Right, quickly go and take action to secure enrollment. Like I mentioned, right, there's going to be a fast action enrollment bonus by to a session conducted by YY. Only for those students who enrolled before 4:35, guys. So quickly go and secure enrollment. I have more than 2,800 of you right now in the webinar. So quickly go and secure enrollment. Okay, take action, quickly learn the strategies, and then get on board. I'll see you guys in the community. Okay, so I'm going to go into Q&A session, guys, to address some of the concerns and questions that you guys have, okay, in the course. So let me just go through some of the questions. Okay. Okay, guys, some of you have mentioned to me that some of you may not have access to Think or Swim and TC2000. Do not worry, even if you do not have access to Think or Swim or TC2000 to use the script. Doesn't matter, because every week, right, my coaches and I, we will be posting the screening script results for most of our strategies into the Discord channel. So even if you don't have access to the script, doesn't matter. Okay. My coaches and I will actually we run the results every week. We run the strategy results every week using our own scanner, and then we'll put into an Excel sheet. Every week we put it into the Discord channel for free for you guys to use to do your scanning if you want. So even if you don't have access to the TC2000 or using other platform, right, doesn't matter. You can still use whatever we post every week. Understand? So no excuse, guys. Okay, no excuse, right? You can always learn, and of course, there's a lot of support system that I've mentioned as well. If you have any questions on the trade setups, right, you can always post into the Discord community chat, and me and my coaches would be there to assist you on your trade identification as well. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. Okay, so Ada asks, which platform should I invest in crypto? Okay, on the brokerage exchanges and which platform, how do you transfer money, all this is inside the lesson. It's in the level 2 lesson, under crypto lesson. So it takes me some time to go through the crypto. How do you fund the accounts, which account to open, all this. So go and review the crypto lesson in level 2. Okay, I do have a lesson there for you guys to go through. Okay, I think Desmond asked, how would I invest or $100,000 portfolio? I think this is a question that was being asked before, right, in our marketing webinar, right? How would I invest 100K portfolio or even a 10K portfolio? I think the lower the account size, right? If I have a low account size, I will definitely want to go for stocks that I'll split them half, 5K or 50K, and then I'll trade stocks and crypto. I'll trade stocks and also crypto at the same time, right? Because they do give me very high upside potential, right? For me to grow my wealth, right, in a shorter period of time. Okay, so how do I mitigate the risk? Of course, when you trade very speculative stocks, very speculative crypto, there's a higher risk. I think the risk can be controlled, can be calculated if when we use the PAM strategy properly, right? For example, let's say you a stock, a crypto that you bought have 5x at 10x. This will have made back many times if you have lost 1 or 2 position. So the mental models must be right with the right risk reward. I think that's how I will manage the portfolio. Because if I'm managing a small portfolio, I want to grow it fast. Then grow it fast and bigger so that if eventually I can use it to invest, right? Maybe next time I can use it to invest. But if I have a small portfolio, I have to get involved in more speculative asset class for trading purposes, not for investment purposes, but for trading purposes. Okay. But I always tell people that even though I trade crypto, but we need to be sensible sometimes. Like sometimes crypto, certain things don't hold too long. That's why my students know that even though we speculate on crypto, but I'm very cautious one. In fact, I would say I'm very conservative. I'm very conservative one. Even though I trade crypto, I say that I'm very conservative. Because I see that the thing not right, I will not hold one. I will start to sell. I see the signs of top. No matter how hype up the entire market is, I will follow my price action strategies to secure the profits. Now, of course, I always say that if the market going to crash, crypto market going to crash, I will give my view in the Discord channel. If one day I see the entire crypto market going to crash, I will do my best to give my most truthful view of the market. I will not because it's unpopular to do so. In fact, the time when I let go my position last time when the market everyone was very hype up, I tell my students that it's unpopular to say that it's going to crash when everyone is so hype up. But sometimes you need to be you need to be a contrarian to do well in trading. Okay, Lin, crypto brokers. Yeah, as I mentioned, go through the lesson is covered in one of our lessons. Generally, I use Binance. Okay, generally I use Binance. I use Gemini, transfer into my funds into Binance. Okay. Ivan asks, are retailers able to beat the professionals who use quant or algo and now with AI? Okay, I always say that behind a algo is a human mind. Algo relies on backtesting, right? Algo rely on backtesting. So, things may change. In fact, I will say that, right? Today, if I'm a trader, right, I will not want to go into I will not want to go too much into algo or system, because I feel that if you're going to compete in terms of AI, it's going to be commoditized. That means you go to any website, they can always backtest things for you. What is your edge? Your edge is really, I think, right, edge still exists in discretionary trading. The edge still exists in discretionary trading. If you go into system or algo, I think, if I got the best AI, I will run the AI to counter other people's AI. If Growth 4, 5, 6, 7 can run I tell Growth to Growth GROKI. But ask Growth to come up with the best system strategy. And if you can come up with the best system strategy or algo or quant, then I will beat other people. And other people also got other algos to come up with the strategy to beat me. So to me, right, it's going to be like an arm race. Eventually, it will be commoditized. That means your edge will be diminished. Likely to be diminished eventually. What is the edge? Will still lie will still exist in my view, right? On the discretionary trader side. Discretionary trading is timeless one. Discretionary trading is timeless. You may backtest something that works, right? Then later on someone run an algo. Yes, it works, then people also run the same algo and then become commoditized. Commoditized means that the edge will diminish. So that's my fear for algo. Okay, so how do I escape the fact that algos is running in the market? There are a lot of algos running in the market. There's a reason why I trade mainly. I told my student to trade on the higher time frame as much as possible, even for scalping. Try to do at best do the 30 minutes chart. Right? Do the 30 minutes chart so that you don't get caught in the algos. By the algos bluffing or the fake out, all this kind of thing. At least 30 minutes for short-term trading, which I teach in the PAM course. For position trading, swing trading, I do at least the 1 year, 2 days chart. But actually, my favorite, my students know, is the weekly chart. So that I can tell you on the weekly chart, it's like on the weekly chart, right? It's like you are fishing on a higher ground, right? Then the shark cannot really touch you. You understand? My analogy is this: it's like fishing on the higher ground. Even though got shark in the water, right? They cannot touch you. But the lower you go, the more the shark can actually disturb you, harass you. So the edge still, in my view, right, still exists on the higher time frame as well, right? For discretionary trading. Can I ask, how is stablecoin different from Bitcoin and other crypto? Stablecoin, like USDC, right, is basically 1 USDC is equal to 1 USD. They are supposed to back 1-to-1. 1:1. They're supposed to back 1-to-1. So why is it that the US government wants to support stablecoin regulations? That stablecoins like USDC, they have to back the US dollar inside that they issue, right? That means 1 USDC, $1 they're going to issue 1 USDC. How do they back this? They will buy treasury bonds. That means they will buy the treasury bonds, which gives demand to the treasuries, which is good, which is what the government wants, because there's a lot of fear that people are dumping the treasuries. It creates demand for the treasuries. So stablecoin is packed, but cryptos have more of a direct price risk, can go up and down, right? Okay, I think the same question over here. Daniel asked about algorithmic trading. Lin, do I think that Bitcoin and other crypto have another leg up in this bull run? Yes, I just mentioned just now. I think I spent quite a long time explaining about my view on Bitcoin and other cryptos. Yes, I still very positive on them. Specific companies, I won't be able to cover them here. Okay. Amelia, yes. A lot of people ask me what's my view on crypto. A lot of people, I easily got a lot of questions on crypto. I think you guys are very interested in my view on crypto. It's bullish. If you ask me where we are now, right, I think I'm going to talk about Tesla shortly. So stay tuned. While you are enrolling, please quickly go and enroll, and then I'll talk about Tesla shortly. I have a slide on Tesla next slide. Later I will cover them. After Q&A, I'll talk about Tesla. So I think the crypto market is somewhere around 50% mark in the bull run. So there's another like 50%, halfway more. Okay, so it's a good sign, right? Means I think it's not too late. Okay, I won't go into specific crypto stocks or crypto. Iris, I'll cover Tesla shortly. David, what's my view on China Hong Kong market? More leg up or yes? I think I think Hang Seng is going to break. My view for Hang Seng right now is about 24,800 points, 883 points. My view is that it's very likely to to go towards 26,000 by the end of this year. Okay, why? Because there's no signs of top. The chart, in my view, looks very pent up. It's almost going to do a breakout anytime soon. To me, it's almost going to do a breakout anytime soon. And it's above the 200 SMA. Above the 50 SMA and the 200 SMA. This is what in technicals, right, we call it positive flow. Market maker is holding on to their long position, right, despite the sell down in April. So they are likely to push up the Hang Seng towards 26,000 by the end of this year, in my view. Okay. Logavino, do I put stop loss for my crypto entries? I don't really put stop loss, but I have a mental stop loss. So when I enter, I'll tell myself, like, roughly based on where is the immediate swing low, I will tell myself, right, like, let's say if I enter here, let's say for crypto, even if I enter here, right, then if I see the chart somewhere is the swing low here, right, if I enter here, then let's say this is the swing low somewhere here at the bottom here, right, I'll tell myself that this is the level where I will cut loss manually. Then from where I enter to where is the stop loss, right? Let's say this is 40%. In terms of the price where I enter. Let's say the price here is $10 and then here is $6 to cut loss. Let's say it's 40%. Then I'll just put an alert there, and then if it goes there, I will manually cut. Usually, if I trade on a higher time frame, it's okay. Okay, I will say I will mental stop loss. If you are risking more than 60%, 70%, right? That means, let's say you enter $10 and your stop loss is, let's say, at $4, $3, right? Then personally, right, I think the entire position is a stop loss. Usually, I'll treat the entire position as a stop loss. So it's either 5, 10x, 20x, or 0. But usually won't really go 0 lah. We'll still have something left. Okay. The thing is that odd season, right, is a very mysterious thing. I've been through 2 odd season before, right? Odd season is a very mysterious thing. When odd season come, right, we have this saying among my crypto friends. Every dog has his day. Every dog has his day. So even if it's a token that, let's say I got caught, he go against me, let's say 90%. Never mind, I just hold it there first. That's what for some minor, like small odds, right? Let's say, right? Odd season, sometimes you can still recover 50% from the bottom. But of course, if it's a scam token, of course, it will never come back. But if it's a legit token but it's beaten down during winter, usually it should come back at least 50%. So this is something to share. So some insights on crypto. Okay, so let me just go through some other questions here. John asked, what is the cash percent allocation relative to my overall portfolio? I'm 100% allocated now. I'm 100% allocated. I think AI stocks are still, anything related to AI, robotics, I think is the sector that still have a lot of potential. Or companies adopting AI, or even crypto treasury companies. I've been watching out for crypto treasury companies as well. Like it or not, these are things that are driving demand, are driving speculation now. So I don't mind getting in quick and getting in and exiting fast once the hype is over. So at this point of time in the market, you should be at least 50% allocated. Because now market all-time high, right? Okay, of course, it can come down, but there's still no signs of top yet. If I sense that or I see that there's going to be a signs of top, I'll start to trim and reduce it below 50%. So I play around with the 50% mark. If I'm cautious about the market, I will reduce to 50% allocation in my portfolio. That means I'll have more than 50% cash. If I think the market has bottomed and is recovering, I will allocate more than 50% cash and towards 100%. I've started to build up more than 50% since the bottom, right? And then of course now I'm almost about 100% allocated already. So I don't think I have cash, like slightly on margin by 5% probably. SK, what's the best ETF or vehicle to buy into Hang Seng upside? KWEB lah. KWEB is the internet stocks ETF to consider. But I don't think there's a sell now. Just let you know. So if you buy now, it's purely based on investment principles. Okay? I personally don't like to buy something that, unless buy something just like that, I like to at least see some form of bear trap or bullish PAM structure to enter. Understand? Before I even buy into something. I because I'm not investing. So I need, when you have a trade set up, then you know your trading plan, how to exit, how to take profit. Okay, if you buy just outright, then it's really based on investing principles, right? Okay. Okay, just I think another question on the script, guys. So don't worry about the script. I think like I said, every week my team and I will post the scanning results from our script into the Discord channel every week. So even if you don't have access to the Think or Swim or even TC2000, right? You're not really shortchanged in any way, right? Because we post them every week, the results that we got from TC2000 anyway. In fact, some students, because we post every week, right? They don't need to go and subscribe to any other things, any other software, right? They just rely on our script and also relying on the trade validation sheet as well that we have, right? The trade validation Excel sheet. Okay. In fact, I got most of my ideas from the trade validation sheet. Sometimes I'm lazy to scan myself, so I just look through what other students post because I'll be validating them with my coaches. And as I validate, I get ideas from there as well, right? Okay. Okay, some of you ask, can I trade your strategies using other platforms like Momo or Tiger Brokers because you don't use IB? Okay, it's a good question. I think a lot of people are using retailers, right? Using Momo. You can use them. You can use them. Definitely use them. Just that me, Adam Bang, we don't use them. I think most of my coaches don't use them as well. So you can still use them if they provide you with good commissions and you like the platform. But in terms of charting, right, guys, I still use TradingView, Think or Swim, or even TC2000. I use many different platforms for charting. But in terms of execution, right, entering the trades, I use mainly IBKR. I use mainly IBKR, right? Interactive brokers. In fact, I think more than 70-80% of our students use IBKR. Commission is very competitive and you get access to all products in one platform. Right, you can trade stocks, Forex, futures, CFD, Hong Kong stocks, China stocks, Singapore stocks. Based on your trading permission, you have to enable some of these trading permission, then you can trade them. The commission is very competitive. Okay. And then when you trade a platform that we use, right, then if you have any questions on how to use certain things, right, I have a tutorial guide for you, right? Then we can help you to answer. But if you use Momo, I don't use, then if you have any issues with Momo, I may not be able to assist you. Okay? But it's okay. You can always leave your Momo account there, right? You don't have to close it. I'm not saying you must close your Momo, but you can always open a new one, right? Because opening an account is free. Right? You can always open an account. Okay, guys. The prenup team has told me they will extend the take action bonus. Okay. to extend the fast action bonus until the end of this webinar. So quickly go and scan the QR code and the tiny URL to secure your enrollment. Okay? I'm going to talk about Tesla. Fundamentally, I'm going to talk about Tesla. I think it's a very, like what most people say, is a very important stock in the stock market. Okay, I think there's, like what Tom Lee has mentioned, I read through a lot of what Tom Lee's interview, and I agree with him that there's no second Tesla. The biggest threat to Tesla is whether there's another Tesla, which I don't think there is. It's like the biggest threat to let's say Amazon is another Amazon in US, which I don't think so. So Tesla business model is really transiting to the SaaS model. Okay, so in my view, right, you know what's VC, venture capital? Venture capital and something's I think more predictable, like your Google, Apple, all the good companies. I think from a band of predictable to venture capital, VC kind of grading, right? I would say that many years ago, Tesla is really somewhere here, somewhere venture capital kind of standard. That means when you invest in Tesla, it's really not proven anything. There's no gigafactory, there's no robotaxi, right? And then Elon Musk is as cranky as before. It's really at a very high risk venture capital stage. But I think over the years, it's starting to be past the 50% mark, where it's nearing to becoming predictable. So it's like the sweet spot between venture capital to predictable, almost crossing that part already, right? And that's where I feel that is the greatest opportunity. When it's become predictable, then of course I think you can still do well, just that the margin, the risk reward may not be as great. So now I think it's a sweet spot between becoming a capital VC standard stock to a predictable in the next few years. That transition is almost there already. Why? Because they're turning their business model. Yeah, they're selling EVs, but I think they're turning to SaaS, software as a service. Okay, by leveraging on, I think, the two earnings drivers, robotaxi and humanoid robots. And then they have superior manufacturing capabilities, like what Tommy has mentioned, right? They have the IP, they have the talent attraction. I can tell you a lot of the young graduates, I think in the US or even around the world, when they graduate, I think they want to work for NVIDIA and also Tesla, right? Elon Musk can attract really very talented people to work for him. You can see all the companies they have. Neuralink, the boring company, Starlink, SpaceX. If all the smart people don't want to work for him, he won't be able to start all these companies. Agree? All the smart scientists, engineers. So they will be able to achieve and have a lead in manufacturing. And I would say they have a cult, right? Tesla supporters. Okay, the loyalty is there. Okay, no matter how good maybe other companies, I mean, let's say EV is, right? I think Tesla will have their own edge. It's just like Apple will always be Apple. There will always be a crowd that will support them, even though there is Samsung, right? Okay. And they have superior battery technology, extensive supercharger network. I think that is the most extensive. Even Ford need to license the supercharger network from them. They are going to have the most extensive supercharging network. I don't think it's profitable in terms of the charging network, but it gives them the network effect, right? To so-called build out the robotaxi and lay the foundation for more EVs on the road. Robotaxi, I think, is safer. I read up a lot about the safety issue. I think a lot of people talk about the safety, but I saw an article that for every 200k miles, I asked Goat also lah. Goat, I don't think Goat is not true, right? So Goat told me that for every 200,000 miles, right, there's usually one accident on the road. with robotaxi, it turns into, I think, 1.2 billion miles for every one accident. Of course, this is still ongoing, but you can see that it's actually much safer. In fact, I think a lot of times accident on the road is due to human error. So this is the way to go. There's no, as a government, in terms of government perspective, I think safety is something that they want to improve, right? I'm very sure there are a lot of accidents on the road. I mean, I'm a driver myself, but sometimes I also felt that if I slower by a bit, 1-2 second, my human error 1-2 second off, right, I will make a mistake. It's just natural. It's just natural. No matter how good you are, sometimes you may still make a little bit of mistake, and sometimes it may not be your mistake. Sometimes it could be somebody else's mistake that caused the accident. And this will be a high gross margin business and recurring income. It's just like a software, and it's going to, the network is huge. It's almost the entire world, right? China is going to have robotaxi, but China is isolated. Tesla is ex-China. It's just like why people still prefer to use Amazon Cloud, Google Cloud, because it's US based. I don't think people want to use Huawei Cloud, right? Because of privacy issues, suspicion, right? Even though Huawei Cloud is cheaper from China, but I think many countries still prefer to use the US side one for political reasons, for safety concerns, right? They escape spying or this kind of thing. So I think robotaxi network by Tesla is going to eventually be the future. It's the next leg of our AI revolution, and it's the biggest project, like what Cathy Wood mentioned. Right? I'm not a very big fan of Cathy Wood, by the way, but I think what she said, I lean towards more of Tom Lee, but yeah. So Cathy Wood is more hype up, but Tom Lee is more measured because he used numbers. He used numbers and experience. He's been a Wall Street analyst, managing director in JP Morgan, so he knows certain things he cannot anyhow say, and he have done his due diligence, right? And also humanoid robots, I think Tesla will lead by a wide margin. There's the Boston robotics, all this, they cannot match Tesla. That's all I can say. Okay, and I think if someone can blast a rocket and then come back down, the rocket can come back and he can grab the rocket, I think eventually he can grab anything, right? Can get the robots to grab anything, and then maybe next time, as what he mentioned, everyone will have a humanoid robots. So fundamentally, I think this is a company that really will bring humanity to the future, and it's not a stock that is trivial in my view. Okay, so I'll be looking at Tesla. I do have some position in Tesla. I'm looking to enter more, especially when there is a bullish PAM structure. Okay. So hope you guys have changed your view on Tesla. Okay. So I'll come back to this slide. Some of you asked me to come back to this slide. Quickly go and secure enrollment, guys. Quickly go and secure enrollment. I think Piana has told me that they will be extending the fast action bonus, the introductory webinar with YY, our veteran trading coach. Okay, for those of you enroll by the end of this webinar. So quickly secure the enrollment. It's a very good deal to enroll today at a very good special discounted price at 1702.8 USD here, with all the bonuses that you will be receiving. It's a very good deal, guys. Okay, and then you receive a login instantly. And I want you guys to quickly go and watch the video. It's going to be an on-demand video tutorials. And then you can also get in, join my community chat. Okay? Okay, so just to let you guys know, okay, you're almost coming to the end of today's Retail Rebellion webinar. Just let me share a few things here, guys. Let me share a few things here. Wait. Let me just take a look here. I just want to give a shout out to Sharon. Sharon, thanks for your comment. I saw your comment. My team has screenshot your comment. Let me see. Appreciate your appreciate your comment. Wait. Okay, so take note, guys. Adam's session, right? The Retail Rebellion will be coming to an end for day 1. Day 2, which is tomorrow at 10 a.m. Adam will be coming in to share with you guys how he actually earned $334,000, right, in net income selling options, right? Selling insurance to Wall Street bears. And I personally heard a lot of stories about how Adam actually sell options, right? And made a lot of money, right? Every time there's panic, especially every time there's panic in the markets, right? This is almost like a foolproof option strategy, right? And Adam is going to share with you guys how he did it, and it's going to be a very insightful session. Okay, so stay tuned. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Singapore time, Adam will be starting the session, and then followed by Bang as well. She's going to cover about options as well in the afternoon. So take note, and we join back the webinar tomorrow at 10 a.m. Okay, I saw this. Let me share with you guys. Okay, so there's, I think along the way, right? Okay, I saw this. I saw this from one of the student, right? Okay, Sharon just mentioned this. It's true that there are probably some other people in the market, but it's true. I don't want to comment too much, but you just know that you guys are learning from the original author. Okay, and I'm very happy to share with you guys my experience and lessons. So be vigilant as well. Be vigilant as well, right? When you see what happened online, right? When you are doing your research online. Okay, some people is actually reusing my content. Okay, so be careful about that. Okay, guys, so take note, 10 a.m. tomorrow, Singapore time. Adam will be here to share with you guys. Okay, he will start his webinar tomorrow on day 2 of the Retail Rebellion. Okay, I hope you guys have learned something useful during my session. Quickly go and click on the link and scan the QR code and also the tiny URL over here to secure your enrollment. And I'll see you guys in our community chat. Okay, all the best, and I'll see you guys soon.